Good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 34 of the Round Nerd Podcast. Me, TheSuffolkRam.
Me, the Bard.
Skazzs.
And we're on to our high-tech setup. Skazz going to talk us through the high-tech setup.
Okay, so this is going to blow your mind. The acoustics in here are amazing. We've got flat walls.
Breeze block walls as well.
Yeah, breeze block. No carpets. No furniture. One microphone. Pretty cool, huh?
We've got a heater.
Oh yeah, we had a light. One light on a 40-metre extension lead.
Yeah, we're all huddling around the heater for warmth.
Because we're all like, seriously, what's the with Scrooge? You know, Christmas.
The Christmas Carol.
Yeah, and we're all just like chilling out around our single lump of coal because we're too poor.
Yeah.
Like seriously, we are so loud, and the new office walls are so thin.
I still don't understand why nobody broke into his shop, beat him to death, and stole all his money. You know, it's like.
No one will ever know.
No.
Questions that have not been answered.
It's common knowledge he's the richest person in town, and it's the fucking Victorian ages.
They were more honourable back then.
No.
Clearly they were.
They were more honourable back then. Shall we start before we freeze to death?
Yes, because our poor folk lump of coal ain't going to last that long.
Well,
We're coming to your house, Scrooge. We're stealing all your coal.
games we've been playing. I've been playing Amnesia. Dark Descent.
But he actually has amnesia.
I can't
I was just waiting for you to pause then and be like, wait, what?
Yeah, I'm actually allowed to play on it at the
He's
moment.
completely forgotten what the game's like.
Well, that's the old one before.
Machine for Pigs.
Because you
yes.
hadn't played the Dark Descent.
No, I hadn't. It's meant to be better.
What is the Dark Descent the original?
Yes.
Ah,
Machine
okay.
Pigs was a sequel that it's sort of it's his own storyline, but it follows on slightly from some of the, it carries out some of the plot threads from Dark Descent, but it's not a direct
Yeah,
sequel.
because it was done by the same guys that did Deus Ex, the sequel.
Yeah, your favourite game. So, brilliant little game. It's, a lot of people said to me it was better than the Machine for Pigs, and so I wanted to try it and see if it was better, because it's. They said when they did Machine for Pigs, they want Machine for Pigs to be more about the atmosphere of the game, whereas Dark Descent was want to be more of a survival horror. And they do a survey.
Hang on, but sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but survival horror is nothing but atmosphere.
Yes, but the Machine for Pigs, it's when you play it, you make it understand. They cut a lot of stuff out of Machine for Pigs that was in the Dark Descent, and some of us, I was glad they did cut out.
So they've like streamed.
They streamlined.
It's an uber
It's more
streamlined
about the
experience.
story. It's probably better. Right? It's more about the story in Machine for Pigs than it is about the actual survival
walking
horror.
I didn't
visual
even
novel.
I was going to say I didn't even know that Dark Descent had a story. I just thought it was
That's
about
got a
some
story.
guy trying to shit his pants. Like,
Well, the trouble of Dark Descent, I'm actually quite enjoying it. About 3 hours in, I've already had two very terrifying experiences.
did you lock yourself in a cupboard? I know that's a common thing in that game.
There's well, so far there is. I had to lock myself in the cupboard once, and you can. But the great thing is because in both the Amnesia games is that your mouse, basically, when you open a door, you don't open the door. You're using your mouse to open it by pushing the mouse forward and backwards, open the door, which means it's really cool actually because you can like open the door crack and have a look through the gap. So you can like if there's a monster where you can watch it and look for it, which is really quite cool. And it's also terrifying when you're being chased by them because you have to sort of push it away to open the door. You are literally, it's sort of good at getting that sort of sense of panic, open the door, turn around, quickly close the door. Because you can slam doors as well by pressing the one of the keys, you slam the door closed. But
Got real door mechanics, this game.
I mean, the first experience, I mean, it starts off right at high because the first thing you do is the first sort of monsters you encounter are all relatively, they're just sort of there for drama. They're sort of to give you an idea the monsters are there. You don't actually. So the first one you encounter, the first time you encounter one, you sort of hear it rather than see it. And I don't think it's possible to actually find it. You just hear it. The second one you encounter, you see it, but it's so far away and it wanders off. And unless you actually run up to it, it won't catch you. So it's designed to sort of build tension up quite sort of gently. But then after that, you'll get your first proper encounter, and it's absolutely terrifying. You go into these underwater sort of tunnels, and they're filled with, not underwater tunnels that are underneath tunnels that are filled with water. The monsters are invisible. Okay?
That's awfully tense. I guess because you see the foot.
You can see where they walk in the water. So you think, oh, there's a flooded tunnel. You walk along, but also you just see it splashing in the water coming towards you. So you sort of jump on a box and it just walks. You see it walk and it just stops next to the box next to you. And then it just stands still, so the splash disappears. You know it's there, but you can't see it's there.
So you're like shouting yourself.
Yeah, you are. Actually, think it's there. I know it's there. And so you sort of pick something up and you throw it, and you see it walk away from you. and they sort of make, because as long as you stare out of the water, it can't find you. It can only find you if you're in the water.
So basically, you have to throw something the other way and leg it.
Yeah, or hop over boxes. Actually, that's my
Conveniently
story.
placed boxes.
Conveniently placed boxes. Yeah, but they're not convenient. They are bits we have to run. But I discovered something. I thought it seemed really odd that I seemed to have trouble running. Every time I tried to push the sprint key, I didn't run. I thought perhaps it's something that sort of, initially I thought perhaps it unlocks later, sort of like building attention at first you can't, but then later on you can. And then I got to one bit where basically I just couldn't do it without sprinting. I had to be able to run, but I couldn't work out why. I thought, this can't, the speed of moving, it feels like a walk, it doesn't feel like a run. And it took me a bit to figure out, and I looked searching for the options, and I was looking through them, and I realised that I had options set for a game controller. Now I had a joystick plugged in.
So one of the buttons on the joystick was being defaulted to
sprint button, but what I was doing is reading both inputs from the keyboard and the joystick simultaneously. So I was pressing sprint on the keyboard because the joystick wasn't telling the same thing. It was ignoring the sprint key. So first of all, I thought, so what you normally do is get up, just unplug the joystick, fine, job. Unplugged it, the game crashed because this controller disappeared.
Oops.
I had to start recording all over again.
So a hint here that Nick is doing a Let's Play.
There's a Let's Play, and by the time you hear this, it's either going to be starting soon, or be midway through doing it, or might even be finished.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Depends if he's got a war of attrition on with this monster. Stay on the box, but I can't start.
I got past that bit. I got past that bit in the end, fortunately. I have found since that they're the only monsters in the whole game you can kill. You can throw boxes on their heads, apparently.
That sucks, man. You can't jump on the boxes and throw boxes at the enemy. That's just not quick.
I saw afterwards I was looking up and I sort of when I'm sort of doing it, I sort of try to gauge how far I got through it. So I went and looked at a walkthrough to see how far I got through the game, just so I knew where I was.
I'll let you off.
And I looked through it and I found there was this one bit where I threw something to distract this monster and then laid it across the other side of the water, jumped on a box again, and opened this gate to get through. And the walkthrough said, "Oh yeah, just move the boxes so you make a platform, make a sort of like stepping stone to get there." I thought, oh, I didn't think of that. So I was just sort of trying to leg it past this monster all the time. Actually, I didn't need to. Like, oh, oops.
Wasn't there a series called I'm probably pronouncing this one Penumbra or something? Wasn't that like the series before Amnesia?
Yes, I don't know a lot about it. I've heard of it. I've not actually sat down and actually tried to play it. Apparently, I think it's a more science fiction-y series.
Well, I think one of my mates told me it takes place in a hospital or an asylum or something. And at that point, I was like, I ain't fucking touching it.
I thought it took place in an Antarctic base, to be honest.
I ain't got a clue.
No. But you're being...
I've got them.
So the story's told through flashbacks, and as you walk around, you play a chap called Daniel, and as you walk around, he starts the game with amnesia, and as you go around, you get flashbacks of what's going on, so the story gradually appears out. But you're being chased. For some reason, there's this weird thing. It's like a sort of strange organic matter, and it's chasing you through this castle, and you can't outrun it. It just keeps catching you up, and so you've got to figure out why it's chasing you. It's definitely very atmospheric. It's very, as I mentioned before, it's a very physical game. So, for example, if you want to one thing that makes it slightly better than Machine Pigs in a way is that if I want to say you have to sort of combine part things together to make sort of tools and stuff. So, if you have to sort of find, say for example, for a drill, for example, you have to find the bits needed to make it, which is quite cool. And it really plays heavily on the sort of the physical aspect of the game. So early on, a door gets blocked by some boulders, and you have to physically, using your mouse, pick and move the boulders out of the way to get through. Okay, at the moment because there's no monsters there, but I could see it if that happens. I'm sure at some point later there's going to be something like that happen when the monster's chasing you. You're having to get this out of the way quickly. It's going to be pretty terrifying. So really, I'm trying to say, am I enjoying it more than the Machine Pigs? At the moment, I have to say yes, but it's been such a while since I played for Machine for Pigs. I might replay it. Once I've done this one, I might do Let's Play Machine for Pigs again.
That sounds good.
This one, and see how I get on. But yeah, good little game. Hopefully, you'll be able to see the Let's Play. I'll link that in the show notes.
Oh, nice one.
So, Bard.
My game of choice, which might not surprise anyone really, for recent times, is The Witcher 3. Which obviously, if anyone's been riding the hype train, has been bigged up to be the biggest game of the year thus far.
Bear in mind it's only May.
Yeah, I know, but you know what people are like with the game of the year. The game of the year could come out in January sometimes, but yeah. But I think this is more based on the fact of how big The Witcher 2 was, and the fact that it did so well when it was sort of released, and everybody went wild for The Witcher 2. Understandably so, because it's a very good game. The Witcher 3 is a really, really good game. I had a couple of problems with it when I started it, which I discussed with Luke a few days back. There's a few niggles I have with it. I mean, at the moment, people's thoughts of the game seem to be very divided. Some people are saying it's 10 out of 10 game of the year. Some people are saying it's bloody awful. I think most people are really loving it. Most of the
I had two mixed opinions. One being it was incredibly broken and unplayable on PC, and then the other one was that it was pretty fucking solid. And
it's a very solid game. I would say there's certain aspects of it that are a bit buggy, but these are problems that could probably be patched. My biggest complaint was the combat, and it's not the combat in itself, it's just the camera isn't very good when you're fighting. It's fine when you're fighting against one enemy, but when you've bearing in mind this is an open world game, so you can have enemies coming at you from all angles, and when you're surrounded, the enemies are quite quick, and it can be a bit of a pain in the ass to catch up with what's going on because the camera's not really very good at keeping an eye on everything around you, so much as it is just focusing on Geralt. There's also a roll ability, like you can dodge out of the way by rolling. It's useless, completely useless. Like if you use it, you will not ever get away from a monster. You'll be more likely to roll into it and take damage, whereas you've got dodge and block options, and if you time your blocks you can parry, which I really like. Not enough games do this. I love the fact that if you time your blocks in a game you can counter attack. That's always been a good thing, and the dodging and the blocking is better than rolling, completely better. Like you'll fare much better doing that. The game's massive, like it's huge. It's the biggest open world game I've played, I think. It dwarfs Skyrim in every way. It just makes Skyrim look tiny and pitiful. The amount of stuff that you can do in the world as well also kind of dwarfs these other games. One thing that's a bit weird is that on your map you will get things that areas you can go where stuff will happen is marked with a question mark, and I thought that was a bit daft because it's kind of telling you where to go. And I was like, well, surely if you're exploring an open world, you wouldn't know that stuff is there. Yeah, you come across stuff on your own. I can understand when it's like a mission and you get a waypoint and stuff.
So you're saying it's kind of it's kind of spoiling the exploration.
It does, yeah, because like you can sort of see where things are.
Is it something that you can't? Can you switch that off?
I don't think you can. You might be able to, but I'm not sure that you can. The world is still pretty nice to explore. It's just parts of it feel a bit copy-pasted in some areas. But then again, I suppose that could be said for any open world game, really, that's set in sort of a medieval time.
There's only so much you can do with the world map before it starts looking a bit samey. Oh, there's a meadow. There's some trees,
in contrast, though, like, one way it'd be, I would say it's kind of dethrones the Bethesda games, like Fallout and Morrowind and such, is that the world feels more alive. Like I found that if you go to towns in, like, say, Skyrim or Oblivion, they're piss tiny, there's nothing to them, and there's not many people living there, and it really kills the immersion for me, because I'm like, well, this town is like barely anything. The Witcher's played, the cities are much bigger, there's much more going on, and the villages are dotted about all over the place, so it does feel like it's more of a living, breathing world. You can't really talk to everyone, so you'll come across people and you just sort of press out on them and they'll just come out with like I'm doing this or whatever, or like kids will sort of start singing or various other nonsense. But the fact that the people are there and that they are commenting and going about doing their daily routines and stuff does kind of give it a little.
It's got more of a look to it.
It does, yeah. I mean, you could ruin the immersion for yourself. I did watch a video on YouTube where a guy had sat on his horse in the middle of a path and people were walking into it and bumping into it, and so the AI there isn't so good. But if you weren't...
What open world game has got flawless AI?
If you weren't going out your way to do this, then you would find that the game is... very...
I've seen people walking to horses in real life, so it's not supposed to be realistic.
AI is pretty realistic then.
Story-wise, it's absolutely brilliant. I'm only a little way through the game, but I've already played a campaign mission that is brilliant, like so well written, just hit me on various levels, surprised me. You kind of get emotionally involved with a lot of the stuff going on here. The atmosphere is fantastic, and as usual with Witcher games, the characters are all very likeable. I mean, even though Geralt is a very two-dimensional character in some respects, in that he is a Witcher and he is very neutral about things, and he only really cares about going through and doing his job, now he's been given a higher purpose in a way. He's looking for somebody he cares about, and it's kind of opened his character up a little bit, which I really like.
Which is, for anyone that doesn't know, they are enhanced humans or enhanced
mutated monster hunters, basically.
Hunt monsters.
They're kind of bred to be monster killing machines, and they're distrusted by people. They're kind of outcasts, really. You find that playing through this game more than some of the others, in that when you're walking around, people shit talk you quite a lot, which I find quite funny. Some of the insults people come up with when you walk past them can be quite amusing.
Is that based on decisions you make in the story?
No, just people mistrust of witches. I walked past a guard earlier when I was played it today, and he goes, "God, you're as white as OT shit." And I thought that was kind of amusing. People will generally distrust you because, well, they're kind of medieval peasants. They don't really know any better. As far as they're aware, you're a scary motherfucker and you're not somebody to be around. Whereas,
so you're a scary motherfucker, so they shit talk to you. That's a good idea.
Well, more in the sense that you're I suppose it's like how mutants are treated in X-Men, that kind of thing. You know, people are scared of them, but to the point that they will be aggressive towards them, like a mob mentality kind of thing. But yes, from what I've played in the story so far, it is spectacular. Like, my gripes of the combat aside, I would say the game is one of the best games I've played in a while. The sheer amount of things there are to do, the feel of the game, the atmosphere of the game, just little things like what I was telling you guys about earlier. We were discussing sort of little things in the game that amuse me, like the fact that Peter Molyneux's request on growing things,
trees,
which unfortunately isn't trees, has finally come to fruition, not by his hand. Your beard grows in real time, which is...
Well, no, I'm curious. You see it saying real time, so doesn't mean if you leave the game for 8 hours, you come back.
Well, it will be real time within the game's time, so it won't be real time in this time. It's more... It follows, because obviously the days in the game is shorter.
So press X to shave.
You can go to a barber. You have to pay a fiver to have a shave, I'm afraid.
What?
You can't do it yourself.
Man,
which is
seriously, witches are a bit.
Yeah. It's like, no,
I can hunt monsters, man, but I can't
shave a face, man. Can't do it.
I might end up hacking off my.
That's
own
what
face.
his silver sword is for, like, to get for his beard hair. There's a card game in it that's absolutely brilliant. This game called Gwent, and you can play quite a number of people. I mean, most of the merchants or any sort of shop you go to, like the blacksmiths and various places, there's always an option to say, do you want to play a round of Gwent? And funnily enough, this seems to be why the game's appealing to the Japanese so much, because the game's
like the Final Fantasy 8 and 9 Tetramaster.
The game's it's much better than Tetramaster.
Oh yeah, but
so
it's the
much
same
more
kind of
in
thing.
depth.
Like everyone will play it. With.
Yeah, not everyone will play it, but a number of people within the game will play it, like quite a large number. But yeah, the game's done well in Japan, which is weird for a Western RPG, but it appears this may well be one of the big reasons, because it's got this addictive card game in that you can play. The card game, if it was available as a physical card game, I would buy it. It's that good.
I've heard a few people say that. On some podcast they said that it's
a deck
good enough
builder.
to be by itself.
It is a deck building game, and you've got 4 factions, so there's quite a lot to choose from in how to play it and what to do. I've already been building strategies, just playing against the AI for various things, which is pretty good.
The last card game and computer game I remember playing was Caravan in Fallout New Vegas, and I still have no idea how the rules
I never
work.
bothered with that. I never bothered with the card
I sort of
games
played
in that
in,
game.
and I read the rules once, and then I read them again, then a third time. Then I thought, I'll play a couple rounds, like the hang of it. And then the AI did something I didn't know it was possible, and then I realised I have no idea how this game works, and just stopped playing.
Although it's obviously like a more obvious game, I did quite enjoy playing poker in Red Dead Redemption. I quite like the fact you could play that online as well. That was quite
Actually,
fun.
Far Cry 3 has a poker mini game in it, which is absolutely brilliant, because you sit at the table in proper first person. And you sit there, and you get the guys you play against have all different personalities, and some of them will just sort of, as you go, one will say, "Oh yeah, hit me," and all that. So one will just sit there and he'll just tap the cards on the table. If he wants to be hit, he won't say anything. And it's really well done.
That's
really,
quite cool.
really visual. I mean, I'd happily play that all day. That was brilliant.
A game within a game.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasted all my time on, well, not wasted, but I spent all my time on The Witcher 3 today, avoiding missions and just playing Gwent with people because I wanted to unlock more cards. And you can buy cards as well. So
Don't say that to Inky. She's got this crazy addictive kind of thing going on with any game that has a game in it, like a card game.
Yeah.
She will buy the game just to play the card game.
I have to admit as well that they've patched something in which is quite good, because there's a shopkeeper that disappears early on in the game, which meant that certain cards you could buy off her you can no longer get, but within a day it had been patched so that you can buy them from somewhere else, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
The patches seem to be becoming thick and fast, actually. A few things that people
What was
have
it, a
said.
bug that the character disappeared, or just that
No,
it
she
was a
disappears
story?
as part of the
okay.
story, and people were saying, well, that's not really fair, because I didn't know that was going to happen, so I hadn't bought the stuff from her,
Yeah.
and now I can't get it. So they were like, fine, well, we'll just give it to another merchant within that town. So now he's got the cards, and you talk to him.
QQ,
You can buy them.
he
Yeah.
murdered her. Stole their cards.
The fighting, that like I was saying with my gripes of the combat against multiple opponents, against single opponent bosses, it's bloody good fun. You have to fight a griffin at the start of the game, and that's really cool. I mean, you have to shoot it out of the air with a crossbow to start off with, and then when it's downed, you have to just run in and start hacking away at this thing, and it's kind of good. It felt a little bit like playing say Monster Hunter or something, just fighting that enemy. Not so much when you're fighting mass amounts of enemies, but it's interesting to see how your playstyle adapts depending on which enemies you're fighting. Like, I notice that I'm very different playing a game fighting against humans than I am when I'm fighting against monsters. Like, I don't know what it is, just their fighting styles are very different, and you kind of adapt differently to them, which is to the game's credit, really, because monsters wouldn't fight the same way as humans. So that's pretty good. There's not many bad things I can say about the game, to be honest, although I was a bit peed off of that beginning fight, because there's a fight early on that I was talking to Luke about earlier in the week.
Oh, the one that you said was quite cheap. Because
It's even when you master the combat, it's still quite cheap, because they throw monsters at you and you've got to defend somebody, and it's early on.
Oh, it's one of those babying quests.
Yeah, but you don't have to baby him too much. You only have to fight 2 lots of creatures that come after him, which is quite good. You know, once you're done, you're done. Simple
That's
as
cool,
that.
I suppose.
But this particular quest line that you do regarding that mission is fantastic. Like, the writing in this game is top notch. I can't say a bad word against the writing at all. It's fantastic.
So now I own the first games, but I've never played them. But one thing that caught my attention was that when I was told, so you know in every other game, you know, you make a decision, people generally save every now and then, so when they have to make a decision, they'll kind of, you know, so they make the decision, oh no, my mate's just died, reload, and there you go. Well, it turns out that in this game, you make decisions, and the results of that it's not really apparent until like hours
These
of gameplay.
decisions they go across
And I
games
love
as
that.
well. Like,
I was going to ask you that.
there's decisions in The Witcher 1 where when you played The Witcher 2, they would happen within The Witcher 2.
And so would that all tie together if you played 1 and then they'd go
I
over
don't
to
think
2,
they
then
do,
straight into
actually.
3?
I don't think that your one decisions matter so much, which is a bit of a shame.
So they've tried to
Your
knock that
decisions
out of
in
the-
2 do, though, but what is interesting is, for people that haven't played The Witcher 2 and just wanted to get into The Witcher 3, you'll reach a point early in the game where you're asked questions by somebody, and determining what you answer will determine your choices
the
made in the
key point,
second game.
Mass Effect 2
Which
did
is
the
good.
exact same
but
thing.
the neat thing about it is it doesn't do everything. So there's small things in 2 that you will only change if you have played the game.
Okay.
But the big decisions, which I won't go into obviously for spoiler reasons, you can do within the game if you haven't
So there's
played.
that little kind of extra sparkle of reward for playing the previous game,
Yeah.
because you'll actually understand the story.
I have to say,
more.
I love games that drag across your saves from previous games.
Yep.
I love it. Whenever it does it, I think it's
encourages you to
good.
play all the other
My
games. in the
favourite game of all
series.
time, Suikoden 2, does it
Yeah.
really well as well.
Mass Effect does it brilliant. Walking Dead does it fantastic. Although Walking Dead has a few bugs in it, it doesn't quite put it across correctly. Brilliant. I love the idea of it because it gives the whole world a continuity. And it's your continuity, not anyone else's continuity.
Yeah.
Your continuity. One thing I want to ask about the open world, and this is something that I've never seen an open world game, but I would love to be able to have an open world game.
Right.
Is this feeling that if you just wandered off into the wilderness, you could actually get lost and be stuck out there. It's like sort of actually lost somewhere. Because most open world games are so small that if you wander into the wilderness, you just walk a few more paces and you'll find another
Yeah,
village.
you'll exit the other side kind of thing.
Exactly.
If you weren't using your map, you probably could. If you decided, right, I'm not using the map, you could quite easily get lost. It is quite a big world, and it's not cut down. It's very densely populated with plant life and such. There are some big foresty areas which you could get lost in quite easily and quite confused around, I would think.
That's what I'd love to see from an actual open world game, a world that feels really
I think
open.
you wouldn't find it to a huge degree here, but I think you get lost a number of times. You might enjoy that aspect of it then.
I just want to be sort of lost in the wilderness, have to survive by sort of killing things and making a campfire and sort of just having to live out there and sort of find my way back to civilization. Or like get lost in a desert somewhere and having to sort of try and looking desperately for sort of pools of water before you die. And then die a pointless, meaningless death when no one will ever find your body.
And I'm supposed to be the negative
Yeah,
one.
like next to the ultimate in survival simulation right now. I'm curious, does it have Rift support? Oculus Rift support?
I've no idea, to be honest with you.
Is it the third person? Wouldn't that be a
It
bit
is third
awkward?
person, yeah.
No, I was just curious if maybe that, because I know that in Guild Wars 2, people are talking about now that they've got a first-person camera mode, that they're actually, obviously it was an MMO, third person, all that kind of stuff. Since they added in the first-person camera, they're trying to add
it's
in
funny you
Rift
should bring
support.
that up because I think this game could benefit from a first-person mode. There's
That's what I
times
mean, I
when I've
thought
been
it'd be
walking
funny.
around, like the control it's a bit weird. The control is nice, but turning him can be a bit of a pain sometimes. More so when you're in closed spaces because the open world is seamless to a degree. Like it's seamless the world is sectioned. Like you've got different states that you go into as part of the area, and when you move from one to the other you will have a loading screen, but when you're in a certain area, that area is seamless. So when you go inside a building or in a cave or whatever, you won't have a loading, you just go straight in, and that can be a bit weird because it's obviously using the same camera system as it would when you're outside as a third person camera system. That can be a bit hokey when you're going into a building.
Tighter.
It does, yeah. It feels really odd. Yeah, it does feel a bit strange. Whereas in The Witcher 2, obviously, the buildings felt more because you were going through a preloaded area. It was a very bigger sort of atmosphere. I did find that a little bit jarring when I first played it, but you get used to it fairly quickly, which is good. I have noticed that obviously with it being open world, certain aspects of it don't look as nice as the second game. One thing that really struck me about the second Witcher is how fantastic the clothes and everything looked. I mean, straight at the start of the game in the second one, you've got a guy called Foltest who's a king that you're working with, and he's got various coat of arms embroidered into his outfit, and they all look fantastic. Like they look real. The textures of the clothes and everything look real. It's been downgraded a bit in this one, I suppose, because of the fact that it's open world. They couldn't.
There's so much more they have to put on.
So they kind of dumbed that down a bit, but that's not really a big problem. It's just something that is a lost aesthetic, I guess, in translation from second to third. But I would pretty much recommend this game to anyone. It is that good. I mean, storyline, you're going to get storyline out of it. Although the combat's a bit hokey, when you get used to it, you'll kind of come to like it. The open world games are fairly popular, so
Sure.
yeah, and the fact that it offers so much content, like literally I haven't been bored of it since I've got it. I've just had so much stuff to do with it. I don't see myself getting bored of it anytime soon either. So
Good.
Excellent.
I would definitely recommend it, along with the other two Witcher games, which are also fantastic.
Random note, I could be wrong, that at time of recording this, if you buy a PlayStation 4 and Witcher combo, it actually comes out cheaper than if you were to have just bought the PlayStation 4 itself.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Actually, I can tell you something else. If you're on the market for a new graphics card, some on eBay are doing a deal where you buy a graphics card and get Witcher 3 with it.
Yeah, I saw one that was giving you The Witcher 3 and Arkham Night as well, which is
Yeah, I think that was
quite
eBay,
good.
yeah.
It's a pretty neat combo.
It's a
Yeah.
video offer, I believe.
Yes.
I need to buy a new graphics card, so...
And also, if you're a bit of a tightwad, I reckon people will probably be selling those codes on eBay for peanuts. Just saying, if you can't be bothered to post
I didn't know
these
you could.
prices.
I didn't know you could pay out peanuts on eBay now.
Oh yeah, you can sell you can send like belly button fluff and stuff like that.
String,
Maybe it depends what colour.
loves and kisses.
No, I'm not too sure about that. Depends who the person is. IOUs, I've managed to get away with one of those so far, but people always knocking on my door. But
I'll tell you, there is one, going back to what we just had before we close The Witcher 3, about the decision making. There is one very big decision you make in The Witcher 2, and it actually pays off in the third game that surprised me. I was quite surprised that it actually happens. Like, I was, it's interesting.
Alright, we're going to give points to anyone who can guess what that is.
Anyone who's played The Witcher 2 will know what I mean. Anyone will know straight off the bat which decision I'm talking about.
Thorny will tell us after the podcast.
Yes.
We'll see.
Well,
So, Luke,
Cool.
you've been test firing some type of new gun, I believe.
Yes, it's I can't actually remember what it's called. The Splatter Shot Junior. It's like a super soaker. It's rad. Right, so it's actually kind of weird because this is going to be kind of late because today is the official European or UK launch day for Splatoon, Nintendo's new third-person shooter, I guess.
Nintendo's big new third-person shooter, I should add. It's been very hyped up, hasn't it?
Well, if I had to, it kind of skipped everyone's radar. I mean, a lot of
For
people
a
who saw
while
it
it
back
did,
in
didn't it?
was it like E3 when it was
Yeah, I
announced.
remember
Everyone was
you
like,
talking about it.
Only about the last month or so has it really kind of took off, hasn't it?
Because I thought to myself, you know what, I'm not really all that. I didn't really seem all that psyched about it.
I had
And
the
then more
exact same opinion of it as you when I first
The
saw
more
it.
I saw of it, it just blew my fucking mind. I was like, that actually seems kind of cool. Because, you know, I used to like shooters back in college. I used to play arena shooters a lot. And I haven't had fun in an arena shooter in ages. And so I started getting psyched. I downloaded I completely forgot the game was coming out, okay? I completely forgot that Splatoon was a thing until Nintendo pushed a notification to our Wii U in the living room saying, hey yo, download the test fire demo, and when these specific times roll around, we'll turn on the servers and you guys can come in and shoot the shit out of each other for free. So I missed a couple of them because we were moving and we didn't have any kind of internet. So, you know, I didn't have anything set up or anything, and so I missed the event. I was kind of bummed out, and then Nintendo were like, yeah, we're going to have one last global test fire. What that basically means is that's their server kind of load tests. And it came up. It was a complete fail for the first hour, the hour slot they'd given us all. It didn't work.
To be fair, giving you an hour slot was a bit foolish because everybody's going to try and go on 1
You'd
hour
have
slots.
thought that after 3 or 4 previous events, they'd have kind of flicked all the switches to have everything turned on. Apparently, Nintendo were like, no. so that kind of went south pretty quick. But when it did work, holy shit, it was amazing. So it's a third-person shooter where instead of aiming to kill your opponents, which you can do. I don't understand why people think you can't. The aim of the game is to actually cover as much ground as possible in your team's coloured ink. So you play as a squid kid or an inkling. You're given like water pistols, a paint roller.
You can shift between being a squid and a person, can't you, basically?
Yeah, so like you can like swim up the walls if it's your own colour ink and stuff
Being
like that.
a squid makes you move faster, allows you to refill your ammo.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you can't walk over the other team's coloured ink, so it kind of plays a strategic role in this. And the whole point is that, like I said, the whole idea is that after 3 minutes, you get judged by a cat for some reason, who has covered the most ground in what colour, and whoever, you know, covers the most ground wins. If you kill your opponent, they explode in a splat of your colour, covering loads of ground, so that's a bonus to shooting your opponents. But the point is that you don't actually have to shoot anyone to actually win the match. You could completely skip around your opponents.
Although watching it already, I was thinking the best tactic would be to have a dude with a roller while you're shooting enemies to cover them. Clearly that would keep them to cover the map.
So on the test fire, you had the splatter shot or splat shot guns. There was the Splat Shot Junior, which is like a little tiny water pistol submachine gun styley thing. The regular splat shot, which is like a super soaker, which is kind of longer range, I guess, but uses more ink. The ink roller, which everyone seems to think is really OP because you just put it on the floor and it spreads ink like mad, but it runs out of ink incredibly fast. You move incredibly slowly, and you can be picked off by.
And you're open to be attacked. Yeah.
And then you've got the charge shot kind of sniper rifle styley gun, which obviously you fire off a stream of ink, and if that hits the opponent, they basically explode in your colour. Each weapon has like sub weapons, grenades or shields or stuff like that.
So grenade launcher sounds an obvious weapon of choice.
I believe they're throwing out. I think now with the official launch of the game, there's a bazooka and a few other guns as well. I don't know because I haven't actually had a chance to play the game. Fuck me, it's fun. It is so damn fun. I haven't even tried the single player campaign. I use campaign sarcastic air quotes because apparently there is one, but there isn't one. Like it's all challenge maps and stuff like that based on it. It's kind of like a Call of Duty campaign where it just kind of teaches you the skills that you're going to need to kick ass in multiplayer.
Yeah.
Plus, Inky couldn't actually really do anything. My wife is currently playing. She couldn't actually do anything until she racked up enough levels in the online multiplayer to actually be fresh enough to buy new guns, buy new clothes.
Just
you can
air quotas, by the way.
Yeah, you can buy new. God, the way the characters talk in this game is so fucking stupid.
They talk really fast, don't they? And gobbledygook.
Yeah, it's all like it's like I don't know, 90s slang. It's not even 90s slang. It's like brain damage 90s slang, and it's just oh god. But if you haven't seen it, I really recommend you try it because I have never had so much fun. Well, at least in the last decade, with a shooter, with a dedicated multiplayer shooter. If I was to compare it to Army of Two, doesn't matter. I love Army of Two, and it's not really the same kind of game. But if you were to look at arena third-person shooters, Splatoon is fucking amazing. This is Nintendo taking the genre and saying, "Shit, look what we can do." Although Nintendo wouldn't swear, because they're very child-friendly.
Hey guys, look what we can do.
Yeah, pretty much.
And to be honest, it makes a change to see them take on something like a shooter because it's not really common ground for Nintendo.
I mean, considering when everyone saw it, they were like, "Oh, what the hell is that?" kind of thing. It was this thing that no one really expected to see at E3, and now it's finally come out. People are ripping it off the shelves. They're like practically murdering each other to get hold of it.
I think Amiibo's had a hand in this.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, this won't be the first time. This won't be the only time Splatoon comes up in our podcast.
No.
Yeah, fucking nightmare.
So, do you think, you say it's going mental now, do you think this is going to be the next big thing for Nintendo? It's going to hang around and be massive, or do you think it's going to be massive for a couple of months and just disappear?
I hope it doesn't do what most current big games have been, like Destiny and
Oh god, yeah.
Titanfall.
Yeah, that was it,
Destiny, what's that?
Titanfall.
Do we remember what
And
that
then
game is?
like people played it for a week to a month and then they just let it die. Like communities in online shooters die incredibly quickly unless they're really fucking solid. Splatoon, I really hope picks up on the competitive scene because it's got all of the right stuff.
I
there.
think also the fact that it appeals to kids is going to help.
Yeah.
Like I think that kids are going to
It's
be
very
more likely.
kid-friendly.
Kids tend to stick with games for a long time, don't they? As opposed to adults. Like I know I don't play games for anywhere near as long as I used to play them when I was a kid. Like I'd play Revenge of Shinobi every day when I was a kid. You know,
Yeah.
I'd never do that now. So it's likely to be a game that when kids are playing it, they're going to be playing quite a lot of it, I would think.
My boys are already super psyched for it. I mean, they've been watching the 30-minute Nintendo Direct about it, like, constantly since they found it. They really want to play it. And I recorded some footage from the global test fire, and they've actually just been watching me run around shooting people and covering ground in ink. They are really psyched. They really want it. In fact, that's one of the reasons why we bought it, but I will get to that later.
Excellent. Well, moving on to stuff we're looking forward to. Forney.
Well,
And
currently,
what are you looking forward to?
the one thing I'm looking forward to, which will be out soon,
The Witcher
is
4.
as much as I would love a Witcher 4 to come out this soon. No, what I really want from The Witcher is a playable Vernon Roach DLC. Make it happen, CDPR. He was the best character in the second game. We need a DLC where we can play as that dude. I'd love it. It'd be brilliant. Just tell people to go plough themselves all day. Excellent. No, what I'm looking forward to at the minute is Batman Arkham Night, which I'm sure a lot of you are also looking forward to, as it's...
That kind of caught me off when you started talking about that, because I was like, that's not a series you've really spoken much of.
But I do really enjoy it. It's a good series. I suppose the reason I don't speak much of it is because it's not a game that I went mad over. But when I played it, I did really like it. I played through, obviously, Arkham Asylum first. Quite enjoyed that. And then I bought Arkham City. And, I mean, I see, because I'm a moderate Batman fan. I do like Batman, but not to the insane extent that I know some people do. That like, Batman is a big thing at the moment. So the Batman games are very popular. But I think with the Arkham games, it's kind of justified because they are the best superhero games on the market. Like, most superhero games I find fall a bit flat, usually because they're licensed games, so they tend not to be as good. But Rocksteady, being quite a solid developer, picking up the Arkham games, and Arkham Asylum when it came out surprised everybody. I don't think anyone expected it to be as good as it was. I don't know whether either of you guys have played.
I've got them. I still haven't played them. I've got them on Xbox 360 and PC.
I'm not sure you'd enjoy Arkham City as much, but I think you'd really like Arkham Asylum because Arkham,
I did actually fire up the start of Arkham Asylum, and what I played was really fun.
To me, plays like a 3D Metroid in some ways.
That's pretty neat.
In that, like you go back and forth through the asylum, and it's quite closed off. Whereas City obviously had an open world aspect to it. It still had levels and things, but there was more of an openness to it. Still a fantastic game, just different to Asylum. It did improve a lot of things over Asylum, but yeah, the new one is. I've seen a few videos for it already. It's looking fantastic. You're now actually in Arkham City. Anyone that will play it will know that you were in Gotham-ish. What it was that Hugo Strange had taken Gotham over, and he turned it into like a prison. So part of Gotham had been sectioned off from the rest of Gotham.
Start thinking Escape from LA.
That kind of thing, yeah. It's like Escape from LA. It's full of criminals.
Personally, but
that kind of thing too. It's full of criminals that are all vying for control.
Great Yarmouth.
And Batman had basically gone in as Bruce Wayne, gotten himself locked in there on purpose so that he can sort shit out from inside, kind of thing, and keep an eye on what's going on.
Well, check that shit out.
Cunningham, they're all mad. They all want to kill me for some reason. And they want to get out. Well, that was worth me breaking in for, wasn't it?
Job done. Time to go home, Alfred.
Yeah, well, the new one, you're actually in Gotham, so there is it's not walled off there. Whether there'll be civilians, I don't know yet, which will be interesting.
Isn't this the game that they already said was DLC before the game was even...
It's got some DLC attached to it, but most of it is nonsense. It's like skins and stuff, so it's like you aren't really going to lose anything because you can't have a specific skin for Harley Quinn or whatever. You just, I don't know what the fuss about that really is.
Okay, I didn't know what it was. So.
And one of the other DLCs, which is like exclusive if you buy it from a certain shop, literally, this.
I can't complain, but I'll get to that later.
I'll tell you the reason you can't complain really, because with this, all it is an upgrade that gives you stuff early in the game that you unlock anyway.
Okay,
so
that's fair.
yeah, it's nothing. It's just a bone to throw to them, so they can go, oh look, now you've got an exclusive deal, sell our game.
Easy fatalities.
Yeah.
Just thrown into Mortal Kombat X.
That kind of, yeah.
That's just retarded DLC.
But I've for a long time. I mean, I remember years ago when the first Batman film came out. Not the first Batman film. The first Batman film of the recent trilogy, the Nolan films. When Batman Begins came out, they were hoping the game to be an open world game, and it wasn't. In fact, it was fucking terrible. It was one of the worst games I've ever played. So when I got that game, you can imagine how disappointed I was. This will be the first proper open world Batman game, which, considering how the character works, should be amazing, because you can explore all of Gotham, take advantage of all those fun gadgets. He has the Batmobile, and the Batmobile has now been all souped up, so it's like a tank. So you can, you can travel around in the Batmobile and you can fight enemy vehicles and stuff. The way they've gotten away with this is the enemy vehicles are unmanned, so he doesn't kill anyone when he blows them up. Being that Batman is all about not killing people.
You girl, Batman.
Even though he used to be all about shooting people and other stuff back in the day.
I've seen
when he
Batman
started off.
beat people up and knock them unconscious. That's usually pretty severely damaging.
Oh yeah, he'll beat the hell out of people. He'll break their arms and shit.
Yeah, the breaking arms and massive brain damage, but they don't technically dead.
Yeah, but no shooting people, no blowing people up. The combat system looks to be the same so far, hopefully with one or two improvements, but there's not really much to improve upon there, because that combat system is fantastic. If you've
I've not, like I said,
you didn't get to fight anyone yet.
I don't know if I think I might have got into like a fight.
It's got a very intuitive counter system, so you'll be fighting like about 10 or 20 guys all at once, and you're punching the hell out of all these different dudes that are attacking you. When they go to hit you, on the normal difficulty, not on the harder difficulties, you get a little thing flash above their head, lets you know to counter, and then you can counter, and you can counter 2 or 3 guys at once, it does make the game feel really fun, because you're just one dude taking on about 20 guys and beating the absolute hell out of them. And City did it really well, because it added more different types of enemies as you went through. Like later on, you get guys with shields, and the only way you can take them out is by rolling over their shields and taking them out from behind.
Oh, that's cool.
And then you had characters that had body armor. and the only way you could take them out is by stunning them and then attacking them. So you couldn't just outright go and punch them because the body armor would stop your attack. So
Fucking knife him in the face.
you stun them and then punch them in the face. Yeah, it's like
Job done.
yeah, the game's good. I mean, it had the older ones had puzzle elements as well, which is quite nice. Like you'd have Riddler quests where Riddler would take you a little riddle and you'd have to solve a puzzle, and there were physical puzzles that involved like manipulating the
world around you, yeah.
to do certain things and using your gadgets. Like he's got a gadget which is explosive gel, and you can spray that on walls and then blow the walls open. I suppose it has kind of a Zelda feel to it in that respect.
That's terrifying.
In a good way.
If you want to play a good new Zelda game,
Play Batman. Yeah, because you go around the world and you're changing things, and you've got these different objects that you unlock that allow you to alter the world in the same way Zelda does. So yeah.
Well, Zelda doesn't do jack shit. Link does.
Well, I meant the Zelda games, but yeah, Zelda doesn't do much, does she? Unless you're playing Wand of Gamelon.
CDI.
Good
Best
old
games ever.
CDI. But yeah, this game's looking interesting so far. It's got a different enemy as well. One thing that disappointed me about the Arkham games is the fucking Joker coming out of the woodwork all the time.
Didn't they balls the ending to those up?
Well, in Origins, you were meant to be fighting against Black Mask, and Origins has been out long enough for me to spoiler this, so I won't worry about spoilers here. But it turns out that Black Mask is actually the Joker pretending to be Black Mask, and that pissed me off quite a bit because it was a bit different to. It was different to be fighting another enemy. Like Batman's got a shitload of really cool enemies. I get a bit fed up with just fighting the Joker all the time. I know he is his main enemy, but with all these other rogues, it was nice to have a different guy in charge. This time you're fighting a dude called the Arkham Knight. I'm not sure who he is exactly.
He's Joker, obviously.
But if it turns
If
out
any of the other games have taught you anything.
if it turns out he's Joker, that will be doubly annoying considering Joker. Well, I won't say, but I might spoil it.
Does it rhyme with lies?
I suppose yes. I suppose I could say the game's been out long enough, but Joker bit the bullet in Arkham City. I don't think it's really going to hurt anyone to spoiler that, as everyone pretty much knows.
I think they fucked up the
it.
Joker fight pretty bad, like in that one apparently.
In Asylum, they messed it up. In Asylum, they
was
did
it Asylum they really
something stupid. In City,
Hulk smash?
you ended up actually it was Asylum.
That was,
in City, you fought a different enemy, and it was actually quite cleverly done.
Oh.
So it was quite good. I don't know. This is looking good so far. I have pre-ordered it. I picked up off CD Keys, which is where it was cheapest.
Oh yeah,
£25, and you got the season pass with it.
that's pretty rad.
So yeah, like all the DLC that's to come out in the future, I already have. So for £25, that isn't too bad. You could buy, I think, the standalone game for 16, so it's like £8 more, and you got all the extra stuff. That's
not bad.
very good. Yeah, CD Keys has pretty much been my go-to site for PC games now.
Can we just say that season passes suck, and that we don't?
They do. Yeah, I don't endorse season passes at all. If the season pass had not been so cheap, I wouldn't have picked it up. Actually, I only got it purely based on the fact it was like £8 for everything.
We're just saying.
But yeah, we shall just say that. But yeah, CD Keys is good. I picked up Pillars of Eternity when that came out.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying about that. Yeah.
It was I haven't done it on the podcast yet because it was sort of when we were still going on our hiatus. But it was £35 on Steam, and I bought it for £11 on CD Keys.
Wow,
which is pretty damn good, yeah. And that was like only a couple of days after it had launched, so that did quite well there.
Cool.
But yeah, this game's looking good. I think it's going to be popular. The Arkham games are a popular series, and Batman itself is a popular franchise.
Never
so
heard
I
of him.
can see it selling rather well.
Cool.
I really want them to do a Silver Age one. Give me Silver Age Arkham City where I'm playing as Adam West Batman. That would be brilliant.
His bright blue and yellow suit he had, yeah.
Absolutely. All the other Arkham games, it's always bloody snowing or raining. Make it daytime. Let me be Adam West. Let me climb up the side of buildings on a road.
Do you want to out a new punch on a big pow symbol?
Hell yes! Imagine how great that would be.
Comic book style.
Imagine how irritated that'd be after 10 minutes.
No, it'd be brilliant. I'd love that. Silver Age Batman is brilliant. Anyone that's read the comics knows that Silver Age Batman, with how off the bloody wall it could be, was where it was at.
Seeing as we've already lost our humanitas, that show was so gay, yet so funny.
That show was awesome. I loved that show. It was brilliant.
Wait, no, it wasn't as gay as the one with the fake nibbles.
Oh, what, Batman and Robin?
That one.
That was Clooney.
Oh, yeah.
I have no
Arnold
idea.
Schwarzenegger is...
That one was just No.
I actually love that film purely for Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze because it's so wrong and yet so right. His bad puns and how awful it was. It was just, yeah.
Fake nipples.
Fake nipples on the batsuit. Why? Why did the batsuit need nipples?
Why not?
It doesn't have a fake cock on it, does it? So, that'd be an addition to the old tool belt, wouldn't it?
Do you ever see below the waist?
What's that big old black dildo hanging there? Well, that's Batman's fake penis on his outfit.
That was part of the mask.
Right, well, I've got a couple. The first one, I'm so looking forward to this.
What is it?
Deus Ex is back!
No, don't lie.
It is.
You're lying.
Mankind Divided. Yes.
When was this announced?
About a month. About 2 3
How
weeks
did
ago.
you know that? But
What
you
were
didn't
they-
know anything else that was going on in the games industry. We've had a discussion today where the game industry has just literally exploded. And it's
Console
like,
gaming.
what?
I can say this now. I've had enough of it. Console gaming is dead. Yes. I've had years people say PC gaming is dead. Console gaming is dead.
No, PC gaming was dead because people didn't realise that it wasn't using shelf space for a reason.
Though funny enough, actually, console gaming isn't so much dead so much as the tables have turned, whereas Nintendo went under for a long time, and now they seem to be on top by producing stuff all the time at the moment, and with the 3DS doing so well and that, and Konami dying, and
Sega
everything
bailing
else.
out by the looks of it.
and Sony killing the Vita.
Well, Sega's still involved with the PC, as we shall come up to shortly.
Okay, moving on.
Deus Ex.
If you tell me that Yakuza is coming out for the PC, I will kiss you.
No.
So you better hope that isn't the case.
Unfortunately, we are in very close proximity at the moment, which is a bit.
Hey, this is high-tech
disturbs us.
shit,
Yeah.
I'll have you know.
Yes, very high tech. Anyway, Deus Ex Mankind Divided.
That sounds
So-
like an awful thing to do to Mick Foley, that. Cutting him up like that. Terrible.
Yes.
Joke's lost on me.
So, yeah, I'm just ignoring it. So, set 2 years after the previous game, spoilers for the ending of Deus Ex Human Revolution. So, at the end of the game, it's not clear because Deus Ex Human Revolution was a fantastic game, brilliant at stealth, had a bit of fun gunplay, the
Dude with
odds
a gun
were
in his arm.
good. Yeah, dude with a gun in his arm.
But it made no fucking sense.
Big, nice. It made sense once you played it a couple of times. Big metal things that come out of your arms and you can stab people with. Classic game mechanics there,
He didn't
really.
deserve this.
I was
or
going to say, I
he
carried
didn't
that shit
want
in my
this.
pocket.
I never asked for this. I think it's what you're referring
Yeah,
to.
that's the line that just always gets spouted all over the place.
Never asked this. So, yes, you did. You went to work for all chap who did Ogwins. What do you think was going to happen? Really? Let's be honest here. Anyway,
Let's be honest.
let's be honest here.
Expecting
So-
tea and
mannequin
cakes,
arms.
obviously.
The only problem with Deus Ex Human Revolution was at the very end, that it's as if they ran out of money because all of a sudden the end of the game was it was pick your own ending. You literally walked into a room and there are 3 buttons.
Oh,
and
Deus Ex has never done that before.
the original Deus Ex didn't do that. You actually had to make a decision of what you wanted
Oh,
to
yeah,
do.
no,
but
you weren't talking about Human Revolution. I thought you were talking about the third Deus Ex then.
Which one are you referring to?
What was referring to the second one?
That's Invisible Walls.
Invisible War did it. Invisible War did it. You walked into a room. You could at the end on the end island. You could pretty much decide the ending right there.
You had to decide who you got upload to be. Then you had to go kill everybody else. That was a slight difference. With this one, literally, it's just a room.
But it was
It's-
still right at the end of the game.
Yeah,
Why does it
It's
sound
not
like a
silly.
dodgy
This is
game?
literally a room with 3 buttons, and whichever button you pick is which faction wins the game.
Why does it sound like a really expensive Stanley Parable?
I mean, that wasn't
was
a million
a
miles
little
away.
bit like
That did annoy me about the second game, being that I'd done all this stuff throughout the game. Then at the end, it's like you dropped on the silence. Like, right, now you can choose who you want to side with. It's like, I thought I'd been doing that the whole game.
Yeah,
Right. You got
Yeah.
white flags and shit.
And then also when it turns out 2 factions are working for the same people, and that was just like, oh,
well, there's
whatever.
actually 4 factions in total
Was
in
it?
that game. At the ending, there's 4 possible endings you can have.
Yeah, but 2 of the factions.
There's the
weren't
nice
working.
ending where everybody gets along happily. There's the ending where someone takes over the world. There's the ending where everybody gets
Robots.
we got attacked. There's the ending where everybody gets
The robots.
There's the ending where everybody gets killed. And there's the ending where everybody else gets killed, but some people are left as cyborgs.
The third one, please.
But yeah, there were
That's the Knights
there were
Templar
2 factions in
Avengers.
the second one,
Okay.
weren't there, that turned out to be working
The Order
for the
and the
same boss.
WTO.
Yeah.
Is that everyone dies?
No,
Is
all
that
the
the only
WTO is part of the Illuminati who take over the world.
No, I mean, I wanted the one where everyone dies.
Yeah,
Well,
you'd love the
you got 2
Templars
options.
then.
Yeah, Templars murder everybody who isn't per human.
They basically revert the world to medieval times.
They do, yeah. Including the main character. The main character sides with them, and the last thing you see is him moving along life. All these people don't sort of hanging from nooses, and you just see his feet at the very end. It's like, well, realistically, they hate augmented people. You're augmented. Was it really a good idea to side with them? Really?
Yes.
Come on.
I have to admit, it's one of those games where I ended up hating all the factions anyway. So it's just like, oh, you all suck. Can't I just kill you all?
And what was the mobile tie-in? Does that have anything? You said there was a mobile.
That's the 4. That one was a. Interestingly, I discovered that the actual the reason I think the 4 was so good was that it was, but it has its problems, was that the chap who actually was the game designer of Human Revolution was actually an executive game designer on the 4. Despite it being made by a different company, he actually had a lot of influence on it.
Oh, okay.
Which is good. What I'm really pleased about is they've brought him back again for this one.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty much the same team as they had. It's Ice Montreal ago, pretty much the same team they had for Deus Ex Human Revolution. And they got so much right, I hope they don't do any Invisible War on us and get it all wrong again.
Or a Thief 4.
Yeah, Thief 4 had hired the same people, most of the same people again. That's the trouble. Thief 4 is missing a lot of people who
actually gave shit to start
It was
with.
the B team, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was, yeah.
Kick the B team off. Sack all of them.
So,
none of them should be employed, ever. Not even a McDonald's. Should all be homeless, the bastards.
No business about Thief 4.
At least then they'd learn how to thief properly, wouldn't they?
Thief 5 says
And then
McDonald's.
We'll employ them back for one day to see what they've learned.
So,
if you can't pickpocket me, you're losing your hands.
So, it's said to, so what happens at the end of Deus Ex Human Revolution? Again, spoilers now. If you haven't played it, turn your ears off for a few minutes.
You have to have a certain augment to do that, I would guess.
Yeah, you do. If you're wondering why I went pause, because Luke just suddenly covered his ears up in a really bizarre way, I'm not sure. But anyway, very end of the Deus Ex, the bad guy Deus Ex, he's sort of same bad guy. He's actually sort of has his reasons behind it, but he's just to the 5 augmentation. Of course,
Who's a sympathetic bad guy?
Yes. He basically gets everybody who's been augmented. He makes them all go simultaneously mad.
Oh, he's not that sympathetic then.
Yeah, he basically has this. Everybody who's augmented has this special chip in their brain that allows them to interface with their augments. They fake a problem with the chips. They get everybody to have them replaced, and they replace them with one which has got a special bit added to it, which means they can make everybody basically have constant nightmares. Everybody thinks they're being like attacked by. So if you hated spiders, you just constantly see spiders everywhere, and of course your assault would be just to lash out at anybody you could. You're basically scared to death. So basically, because all these poor people to go mad. So the game, obviously, 2 years after it, what happened? Everybody basically distrusts people who are augmented, and so basically a divide is, hence the name Mankind Divided. Whereas people who are augmented are generally sort of hidden, have become like a second-class citizens, and I generally have to hide their augments from people because some people literally, if they find, will beat them up and kill them. And what ends up happening is you get these terrorist groups forming, including a chap with a big chain. I've got a chain fist because he looks like he's got a chain fist. It's not, but it looks like a chain fist.
Well, I have a feeling we're having X-Men territory here.
I'll be Warhammer personally,
chap.
but yeah, this guy. And basically, there's terrorist organisations, and you're tasked to sort of help bring them down. You're part of a thing called Task Force 29, and you've got to take them down. At the moment, that's pretty much all the story news they've released. A few new things we've seen in the video. There's only one teaser trailer released so far. A few things we've seen in it. You've now got what looks like a taser type device. So whereas before you had a stun gun, you can now fire stun out of your wrists. Because it looked quite actiony, the preview, but it seems they've gone sort of say, no, look, you can use you have got still stealth options here, sort of subtle options here, so you can now fire stun blast out of your wrists. You can now fire your sort of arm blades across the room and sort of help people outside the room. You can. It just looks absolutely fantastic. I can't wait for it again, and I'm hoping they just stick with the formula, develop on the story, but keep the basic mechanics of who worked so well. I mean, it's incredible. Actually, I watched this. I'm so fired up for it. I watched it, and then immediately went back and watched all the trailers for the Human Revolution. Got so fired up about it. Despite the fact I've played it 3 times, it's already out. I got fired up because there's a new game coming out. Brilliant. So looking forward to it. So I'm hoping it's not going to be out that much out long before out. They say you can pre-order it already, but you can't. This isn't a trailer pre-order now, but you can't Steam will let you pre-order it. So
Not on Steam, it's not there.
if it's
not
not
real.
If it's not on Steam, it doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned. The other one I'm looking forward to is a game that I think everybody's been wanting for many, many years, and it's finally happened. Total War. Warhammer.
Not Yakuza.
Total War Warhammer. But Total War's been the series that would be ideal for Warhammer, and finally they've drawn up Games Workshop and they're making a Warhammer game.
Is that your Sega game you were referring to?
Yes.
Yes.
See? PC. Brilliant. Sega looking after us.
No, they're not. They haven't brought Yakuza out for us yet. Bring us Yakuza, you bastards.
So, Warhammer Total War, I keep wanting it's Total War Warhammer, but Warhammer Total War sounds easier to pronounce anyway. So again, it's only a few DLCs released so far.
Why didn't they just call it Total Warhammer?
That would work. But I suppose Total War's the brand, isn't it?
Yeah, well, still, put it in a different font.
Right, okay. So you've been confirmed there's going to be there's at least 4 factions that have been confirmed. Vampire Counts, Orcs and Goblins, Empire and Dwarves.
No Skaven yet then.
Well, I was thinking about this. Therefore, how would Skaven work in Total War? Because the way Total War works, it's about sort of building empires, claiming territory, empires. Skaven wouldn't work. I could see him being like a background menace. Perhaps sort of but like how you have rebels suddenly appear in your Total War games. I could see how an army of Skaven suddenly emerge and you have to fight them off. I could see him having that, but I can't see how you'd be able to be as a playable faction.
In that case, I'd have to be the Vampire Counts. They're good faction.
I'd have to be the Empire because you get Griffins and steam tanks that drive around and break down constantly. But I mean, it's also. I mean, it's going to be brilliant to be able to play Total War. Massive armies. You've got monsters.
I could never get into Total War. I've got Shogun, the second Shogun. I found it like it didn't fit together very well for me. Like you had the whole Empire section and then the battle sections, and I found it not really gelling together too well.
The great thing about Total War though is you can, if say for example you don't like the battles, you can completely ignore them. You can just hit auto resolve, and as long as you've got a decent advance, and it tells you in advance, generally speaking, what you're going to do. You can, if you just want to do the strategy side of it, you can forget about the turn-based stuff. You can forget about the strategy side if you want.
Play game for me. Go.
But it's an option if you just want. If your interest is the turn-based strategy and you're interested in the battle, because to be honest, after a while you have so many
buying the Europa games.
After a while, for example, you will end up with a situation where you have so many battles going on simultaneously. You have to, if you're initially going to play 20 in a row, you are just going to click auto resolve because you might look at the ones that, okay, this side is going to be very touch and go with a win, so I better play this one because I can control it. We're going to win this one easily. Auto resolve. Oh, I won it. That's when it becomes useful. I mean, it's another one I'm looking forward to, and I just sort of thought, oh, finally. Because I think every Total War game that's been has had a Warhammer mod for it, which I think most of the time getting waiting to shut them down. They've already confirmed they are going to sign some expansions for it, which I would imagine will add extra factions. Because obviously from memory, there's 14 factions in Warhammer. So they obviously some of them are like Skaven wouldn't work. But you can soon add all the others in. I think that'd be fantastic. So
I like 2.
Which one of them?
Skaven and Orcs.
Orcs and Goblins are in it. You've got
Undead are cool, man.
You've got Arachnavox spiders in it. These giant spiders that the goblins ride around on and sort of do things.
Random note: Undead pissed me off because they had a very cheap star player in Blood Bowl. Just saying.
Alright, Blood Bowl is the reason.
Motherfucker.
You should play Tomb Kings of Kamari, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Seriously, just throwing this out there. That son of a bitch had a fucking chainsaw. And I think it was roll anything over 1 for the fucking thing to start. And if it moved anywhere near any other fucking player, that player was fucking down, whether you liked it or not. That was like fucking a death sentence the entire match.
I'll tell you something. You know, in normal Warhammer, you can have a 1+ armour save on a D6, but there's a reason why you can have 1+ armour save. You always fail on a 1. You can't pass if you roll one on a 1+ armour save, you fail. The reason you have it is because certain weapons reduce your armor save by like -1. So if you've got a 2+ armor save, it goes to 3+. So therefore 1+ armor save is useful because it goes into a 2+.
Okay.
So slight nerd moment there. But yeah, I can't.
Oh, Dark Elves as well. Dark Elves.
Dark Elves.
Quite
Well,
fun.
yeah, that's interesting. I'm surprised there's been no elves or dark elves confirmed for it. I wonder if they're just going to hold back and release like these later.
You know what will? Dark Elves will come out of a naval unit. That'll be what will happen.
Yeah.
They'll release Dark Elves when they stick naval combat.
I mean, I can't think it's going to be a massive problem because not being funny. In all the other Total War games, they've had massive factions. They've loads of different factions, all who play differently. So I can't see it's possible for them to. I think they're just sort of drip feeding. So I wouldn't be surprised as time goes on they release. They
Yeah, of
announce all
course
the
they will.
advances
Especially if
coming
Games
on.
Workshop are involved. My God, they're going to milk that for what it's worth.
Oh yeah. Not in Games Workshop, be microtransactions to buy units with real money. I just hope that it'd be nice if they incorporate some of the things. It'd be nice if you can customise your colours of your like
Yeah, banners
factions
and stuff.
Yeah, because obviously one of the great things about Warhammer is you paint your armies whatever you like. It'd be nice to be able to sort of carry. That's what I used to find about Dawn of War.
Yeah, that was quite neat.
Was you could actually go and paint all your armies whatever you wanted. We used to paint. I painted mine because I got fed. I got painted mine a really sickly bright lime green. Everybody hated, and they used to hate playing with me because it was just bright lime green. Walking your Space Marines, and every faction I could, I painted lime green Eldar, lime green Space Marines. Everybody hated it because it was just sort of mildly offensive. It was just brilliant.
Lime green orcs would be interesting.
I did have like
Green on green.
the chocolate. Yeah, it didn't really work on the orcs, but I did have. But
I have this really random feeling that Nick didn't actually buy model paint. He just went down to, like, I don't know, his local fucking hardware store and bought a tin of green Dulux.
I tell you something. My first Space Marine army, I wasn't very good at painting. Used a total of 3 colours.
That's amazing.
I painted all the armour blue except the left shoulder part, which I painted silver, and the gun was silver, and the base was green.
Like silver, or are we talking? Yeah,
I'm talking silvers in the colour silver. What other silver would I be talking about? I'm talking about
no,
painting.
well, I just don't like. I always talk about them in the actual colour paints that came in.
Oh,
the
but
sets.
no, you see, that's because that's when I first started. I didn't have a Games Workshop near me,
cool.
so I was buying humble paints.
Oh, okay.
So, brilliant. So, yes, Total War. Yes, Deus Ex. Woo.
Okay.
Right, hardware other news. And we're back to the second Splatoon.
It's amazing. So the nightmare of. So what we've got to cover here? We've got to cover DLC.
Spontoon in my pants again.
So what was it? It's DLC, delivery, why I hate Game UK, and I really fucking hate Game UK. I should have never have bought it.
I was surprised when I saw your video and thought you ordered from Game.
Yeah, exactly.
Why?
That's like one of the
For
few.
so that first question was, how did you manage to do it? Because I've never managed to successfully order a game from
Look, can I say they've only just fixed the site? 'Cause
They fixed it
If you
now.
paid with PayPal, right, it used to spaz the fuck out, so you couldn't actually continue the thing. I was like, but I've just clicked PayPal, continue, select payment method. I just did PayPal, continue, no, select payment method. Fucking PayPal! There! Just let me fucking go, please.
And the
It's like-
next video, your PayPal account is like, Game deducted 22 times.
I'm like, I fucking swear, if you don't let me fucking buy this thing, I'm going to kick your ass. But anyway, so recently some serious Saturday morning cartoon shit went down, and this is exactly what I said in a video I put up on my YouTube channel, because for some reason I forgot that we had a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Get Inspector Gadget on the case.
Yeah, for sure. Look, seriously, it was insane. So, basically, amiibos are a thing, right? And the only way that you can get the one of the 3 Splatoon amiibos, the little Nintendo fucking statue things, is to buy in Europe. And then, you know, everywhere else in the world you can buy it fucking separately. In fucking Europe, you have to buy it. Europe, UK, fucking cheeseburger land. You have to buy it with the game. If you don't buy it with the game, you don't fucking get it. Or you have to get it from some scalper douchebag that fucking stole a lorry full on eBay.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
So basically, the 2 places that you could get it that I knew of in the UK were Game UK, who had the triple pack that Nintendo were
I reckon
offering.
Kim did it for Miss Caravan.
Nintendo actually sold them directly, but they were near enough always sold out. So you could either buy it from Game or Amazon. Amazon sold the green squid that you could only get with the game, But Game sold the triple pack, so you could get the game, the green squid, the girl character, and the inkling boy character, or what the fuck ever they're called. And I was like, right, well, I'll buy it from Game. It's a better deal. So this is going to be fucking amazing. I was going to buy it for my little boy's birthday. He's randomly got into amiibos, and he seems to really fucking love.
He hasn't randomly gotten into amiibos. He's been brainwashed like every other child on the planet to buy amiibos.
And
it could be worse. He could be into Frozen.
I mean, you were talking about Saturday morning cartoon shit. Reggie's got a fucking satellite that beams this shit into children's heads.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, I can blame Lamar Wilson for this. Thanks, Lamar, you bastard. No, my kids love Lamar. He's fucking funny. Him and Barnacles. If anyone's seen Barnacles.
Don't know who either of these people are.
But anyways, so I ordered from Game. And
I don't think we spent most of our podcast telling people about other podcasts that are better than us. Well, you two know that better than us.
So basically, it's now coming up to launch. So this was like a couple of days ago. And I'm out, I'm working on some stuffs, and I come in and I check my phone. It's like, oh yeah, hey, email from Game. And I had to do a double take. So roughly, the email read, "Hi, basically a lorry was coming from Nintendo in Europe, and it was going to deliver some stuff to our warehouse in the UK, our Game warehouse, and yeah, the lorry's been nicked." And then I was like, what? Okay, let me read that again. The lorry has disappeared, and it's basically full of your fucking Splatoon stuff. All of your amiibos for that game are fucking gone.
Do you reckon Sega's getting back into the old console war gig?
Yeah,
they're pulling a Team Rocket and just stealing that shit and being like, right,
they're going to fund it by flogging them all on eBay.
flog the amiibos for a Dreamcast 2. I can get behind this idea. Sega, if you've done this, that's brilliant. Stroke of genius.
That was insane. And then so the Game were like, yeah, well, this was our kind of. This was the stuff that Nintendo was sending us.
I do feel sorry for poor gamers. I do feel sorry for them.
It drove me nuts because they then said, well, we can't get you the green squid amiibo anymore because that was our allocated set. It's just been fucking nicked. They are not sending us anymore. If you want that amiibo, you have to buy the game from somewhere else. But we can give you the standard edition, which is just the game in the DVD case, and the 2 fucking amiibos at a slightly reduced price. I was like, fine, whatever. I went out and bought the game for my son from Amazon so he could have the squid. Someone's going to say, well, why are you all that bothered about plastic figures? Well, one, it's his birthday present, and 2, the actual amiibos unlock maps in the fucking game. So, not really maps, but like challenges. So, different maps get different challenges based on what amiibos are placed on the thing. You can get different stuff for your characters and like cheese. And I couldn't believe it. The fucking game, like, yeah, we can't do anything about it. Nothing. Tough shit, go somewhere else. And I was like, you fucking assholes. And everyone else was like, well, surely Game will get some more from Nintendo. They've just clearly fucking said that everything Nintendo was going to give them is fucking gone, man.
What I get irritated by the whole setup is not so much Game, it's the way the game has been, the computer game itself has been set up, that you can unlock these levels if you're these little figures, but there's a limited supply of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not like, like DLC, there's no limit to the supply of it. If everybody can have the DLC.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's even worse, it's on disc.
Yeah, but everybody can have it. Everybody who wants it can have it.
Yep.
But no,
I always hate exclusivity. It always pisses me off in anything.
Yeah.
Because it's unfair in ways, because it means the people who come to it, say, a bit later, I mean, what if someone gets into this in 6 months' time?
Well, they're kind of shit out of luck. Unless Nintendo reprint, because Nintendo are reprinting the original run of Amiibo, aren't they?
Apparently so, yeah.
Well, they already are in Japan, so you can already get like Wii Fit Trainer, Math, and Villager and stuff. But, you guys have a point. And considering the only way at this point you can fucking get the green squid Amiibo
I do kind of laugh at Amiibos as well. My mate's got an Amiibo of Link and it looks like he's had a stroke. It's really bad, the paint job and everything.
Well, basically, they got stolen. I've had to buy the game twice. In fairness, I did the whole deal actually basically means that I got a second copy of Splatoon for about 10 quid. So, not too bad.
Not bad, you sell that on?
Yeah, for sure. Or considering we've got 2 Wii U's in the house.
I wouldn't try selling because there'll be loads on eBay.
Yeah, for
already.
Sure. Yeah, there's already
there'll be a truckload of them on eBay.
There's already a truck full. It was... Oh God, what the fuck, man. An entire lorry going missing.
I do feel sorry for Game. I do feel sorry for Game. It's like they are really the sort of butt monkey of the game community, of the sort of shop retail community. You know, their website doesn't work. You can't actually use to buy stuff off them, and they take about 7 years to fix it. They break what would work, and then one time it's like, "Hey, we've got exclusive content to buy these bits and pieces." Oh, it's been stolen.
Can I just tell you
I
another thing
do
that
feel
wound me
really
up about
sorry
that
for
site?
Game. You know, it is one of the ones where you saw, if it was like a TV show, you just laugh at it being unrealistic for this bad that happened to one person.
See, another thing that pissed me off about Games' website is that they have games listed that they're not even selling.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? Just
In
take
my
it
head-
down. How hard is it to
in
put
my
is it
head-
in stock? No.
yeah.
Take it off the fucking site.
In my head, every time a member of Game staff walks out their door, they either slip on a banana or stand and wake us back to the face by it. Because I just think that's the world that Game live in. I just do.
Them poor bastards. And then the other thing, I paid for a new game,
Chuckle Vision game.
right? I paid for a new game from Game, so I made another stupid decision to buy from Game.
This is your fault. Why do you keep buying from Game?
And I fucking swear, well, because
Look, if
they
you keep doing
already
this, you're going to be the one slipping on bananas.
they already owe me money, so you know why not? And I ordered this game. I got it at a good price. It comes through. It's listed as new, and it's like, I swear this is second hand. There's no shrink wrap on it. There's one of their fucking pre-owned, like, you know, if you open this up, then within 28 days you're kind of stiffed, kind of thing. But the disc is in
What, does it
perfect
explode?
condition. Yeah, pretty much. It blows up, gives you AIDS and cancer, and cuts your bell end
Nice.
1,000 times into little tiny slices.
Okay.
Just saying.
I used to like Game. I did many years
I have to admit, I
ago.
used to like Game for going in and heckling the staff.
Yeah, that was always
That was
fun.
what was always best
Many years ago.
Game used to be cool until they opened up.
for. They
and
were
started
good for
trying to-
cheap-ass Dreamcast games as well at one time.
I
No,
was-
that was budget.
I ordered.
actually.
Game
I-
did some good
yeah.
ones as well, man. I got JoJo's Bizarre Adventure for £5 from there.
I ordered Quake 2 off Game.
Fucking hell, that's gone back some
Yeah,
years.
it's been about some years. Ordered Quake 2 off Game, but it was towards the end of its sort of printed production run, because I was a bit late getting to it, and I ordered it. And the day it was meant to arrive, I got a letter through, and it said, "Awfully sorry, but we actually haven't got it in stock. We don't have any more. We refund you your money. Well, it was only a tenner, and here's a £10 gift voucher." Right?
Sure.
So I got my money back, and then 2 days later, I got a box through the post saying, "Oh, we found it anyway. Have the game as well." And they sent me the game for free. So I
alright.
went for the game. My money was for
They
free,
gave you a
and-
tenner for taking the
Cool.
best day
Good on
ever.
Game, and that really sort of encouraged me to stick with Game. And
I'm
then
starting to see why Game went downhill. They were just giving you money to
They
take
did have
this
to just
off.
give this lorry to somebody, didn't they? Oh, look, yeah. Oh, you need a lorry to drive. Oh, we'll have this one, you know.
Well, hang on a minute. I wondered what that lorry was doing down the back. Out of here?
possibly. Oh. Let's hope the Lloyds wasn't carrying their entire production run of posters for Farming Simulator, because
Well,
they'll need those in the front window.
I was like, I did make a bit of a joke. I was like, just imagine, right, if they didn't realise what they were stealing and they cracked open the back. Now they're either like, oh no, we got a load of Nintendo shit, or fuck me, let's get on eBay. These amiibo things are worth a couple fucking quid. I even joked that the cost of amiibo was either 15 quid or a kidney. I can't figure out which. Or just imagine you break open the back of the lorry.
Both.
You have to sell your kidney and you still have 15 quid left off to pay. But imagine they crack it open and all they get in the back of it's like, I don't know, Xbox One Connect units that they haven't been able to sell. I mean, again, it's coming from Nintendo, but just imagine they didn't know where it was coming from.
RGB SCAR adapters.
It's like, what the fuck are we going to do with these? CRT tellies? Ooh. I know what Atari Jaguars. Like, wait, surely these should have been destroyed years ago. Yeah, but they're Ataris. We can't destroy
They break open, they find all the cartridges that Atari dumped in the desert, just been loaded to a
E.T.
lorry. Oh, bugger.
It's like, oh no.
I just think that there was 2 lorries hanging down that road that day. One which was like full of like sort of gold-plated.
Maybe that's what they did it for. Maybe this is the new urban legend. That'll be like E.T. was for us, the kids in like 20 years' time. They'll
Well,
find this
see amiibos.
mysterious Splatoon track. Oh right, with like a
I'll be
dead
like
body in the
half
front.
buried in the wasteland.
Yeah.
my only just out of curiosity, Is the driver still around, or has he disappeared as well?
Oh yeah, does anyone know what happened to the driver? No one seemed to give a shit about the driver. They were just like, hey yo, where the fuck's my amiibos at, son?
Just tell me more about this. I would have bet if the truck was parked at a truck stop and he was in bed, he was like in the hotel and he came next morning, the truck was gone. That's fine. If he's disappeared as well, it's actually now took a slightly sad turn.
Rest in peace, truck driver, dude. Where's my amiibos at?
Unless he's just sitting there playing Splatoon.
Yeah, dude's just like chilling out, like, wait, shit, where was this supposed to go again? It's probably some French
Russian
guy.
the Russian mafia. I don't know why I'm saying the Russian mafia. I just think it would be them saying, "We killed the driver for this."
God damn it.
Putin wanted his copy of Splatoon early, damn it.
Well, that's the thing that I don't get. Like, everyone else had it in stock, right?
He's currently online painting everything communist red, you know?
Nintendo had already started shipping this shit out. Fucking Amazon already had it in their warehouses. Fucking who was it that is it like Ship2 or whoever it is that Divine Shops with had already sent him the game before mine had been stolen. Divine already had a copy in his hands like a week before fucking launch. And then I was like, and Nintendo were like, here's fucking game, let's send out that truck.
Pick their most useless driver, you know?
Yeah, that's it. Look.
Blind Bill Bob, send him out.
Fucking, there you go, look, place bets, guys, the fucking gonna get there. Like, nah, mate.
Let's bring our friends in Mafia, tell us a truck with lots of valuable stuff on the way.
So don't worry about it, guys, it's got Fat Tony in the front.
Oh dear. I always remember, I love when companies cock up sending stuff out.
That weren't a fucking cock up, mate. Seriously.
That's just hilarious. I remember when a mutual acquaintance of ours who worked in a game shop, and he was told that they were told to take pre-orders for Xbox in the Xbox 360s, and they were told they had 20 Xboxes on their way to them. They took 20 pre-orders. They got one Xbox.
Yeah, that shit. But that shit happens all the time. That's the other thing with amiibos. Like, I got told. So a couple of guys have made videos about how their amiibo orders were getting cancelled in the States because, like, apparently Nintendo were promising these shops all these amiibos, and we're only sending a handful of the fuckers out. So everyone who had pre-orders were just getting cancelled left and right. You'd have thought, well, if Nintendo knew 2 months in advance, they'd have printed more out. For fuck's sake.
Yeah.
But. So they were getting cancelled, and that was my fault. This is bad karma for me, right? I was like, fucking, we haven't had any shit like that in the UK. Lorry goes missing. To the family of the truck driver, I'm so sorry.
I'm sure he's fine.
He probably is down the pub, like, oh, fuck, man, what am I going to do?
He's got the world's greatest eBay account as we speak.
Oh, yes. Them kids going to have fucking Squid England amiibos. They're going to be fucking wild chuffed.
Do you think that's what was in those safety deposit boxes that got raided a while? That's just full of amiibos.
Fucking amiibos are taking over the world. I don't understand why everyone are going so mental over
No,
them.
me neither.
Yeah, but why do people go mental over pogs?
This is different, man. This costs
didn't
real
cost
money.
like 20 odd quid or 50 quid if you're going for Little Mac, you know? It's like...
I mean, there are people importing from Japan, and they cost even more. It's like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, but I've got to get wave 4 before it hits the shores. It's like, fucking hell, what are you going to do? I'm going to unbox it. It's there. You can see it through the clear fucking plastic, man. Oh, my God. Ah!
Oh, dear.
There we go. I'm done. Stupid fucking amiibo, stupid fucking game. Just buy from Amazon or seriously.
Is that what you're doing? Games should do. Just buy it from Amazon.
Yeah. Fucking at least I'll get a reliable shipment. And Amazon
Knowing games like Amazon would send their drones out and they'd crash and explode and burn down the game headquarters.
Actually, in fairness, Amazon have probably fucked up more orders for me over the last year than Game have. I've already made like 3 orders from Game. Game, you suck.
I'd just like to be able to make an order from Game, to be honest.
What do you mean you won't take my card? What do you mean I can't add it to my basket?
You don't know where I live? I've told you my address 4 times and you still don't know where I live. It's there. It's written down for you. Set a primary address. I've done that.
Probably what even serve you for going to shop.
Well, someone's fucking like, why can't people come and be served? And like Nick's just stood there, like he's invisible to the staff. Like, what's going on? Someone keeps shouting at me, but I can't see him.
Oh dear.
This is where I live. Where who lives? What do you want? The fucking voice of the angry PC gamer is just a ghost in the shop.
Dear.
I remember when Planet Side 2 was in this corner, you fucker.
Really? Planets
I
like
fucking
two?
had the original mine inside. I was
I
like,
was going to
shit.
say, that's impressive.
Digital download only, physical release just for
Someone
game.
download the
Game exclusive. That's why, because it never reached them.
Fucking game. The only PC titles they have: Edutainment and Backgammon. Yeah, moving on.
Good. Flashback.
Stupid game.
So flashback. It's been so long since we did our last podcast. I forgot half of what was in it.
Flashback.
But
Game sucks.
there is one thing we can put into. There's one thing we can put into flashback.
That isn't game sucks.
Yes, it is. It is in game sucks. Although game does suck.
It sucks. It sucks
Last
'cause
time
it
we
sucks.
podcasted, you were midway through a challenge.
Yes.
How is that going?
Right, so the Shrinkwrap challenge, 9 games, and then beat Silver Surfer on the NES. Fuck Surfer on the NES. I haven't, in fairness, I haven't played it since before Christmas, and like 3 days into the into thinking up the challenge, I'd already got to the final zone of Surfer. So I could probably start that, close my eyes, and finish the game at this point. But I decided because Surfer was getting on my tits, and I don't have my NES here, I've started playing. I decided I'd go through 20 games, and I've actually gone through I think 11 or 12 now. But most of them are arcade games. So
Right.
I've gone through like Total Carnage, a few beat 'em ups. Like we went through Knights of the Round. Was it Knights of the Round?
Yeah, it was nice around.
Yeah, and just loads of like really random games. I want to go through Truxton. I have no idea why, but I've had this really random obsession with the arcade shooter Truxton. That game's
right,
so
yeah.
fucking awesome. Yeah, so I've gone through quite a few games now. We're aiming for 20, but I have been buying a few games because I found a few games are seemingly going out of print. So I wanted to get those before they fucking disappeared into the ether because console gaming is dying apparently because Sony sucks a dick. Sony, Sega, Konami, God, you guys, get it to fucking together. But yeah, challenge is going well. I found a really random fighter which I will have to mention in the next episode because I can't remember the name, but basically you play as a park ranger or like a safari fucking ranger.
Oh,
geezer
that
guy.
kind of park ranger. I was thinking literally as someone who works like in the park like in the UK.
Is it a Sega game?
I have no idea, but basically there's
It's not
these...
Growl, is it?
I don't know. It might
It's
be.
got 2 different names. Growl is one of them, and it's got a different one.
So basically you play as these...
it's like Streets of Rage.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's fucking really
At the beginning,
weird.
the first area you enter is like a bar area.
Yes.
You're smashing dudes for a table. Yeah, that is
Because
Growl.
they throw fucking grenades at you,
Yeah.
and like so they're poachers.
It's a
and
weird game, but it's cool. Very
fucking
good
hell,
game.
that game was so brutal. Like so, all of a sudden, right, it's a side-scrolling beat 'em up, right? And you're just sat there, you and the other fucking whoever you are sitting there having a drink, and out of nowhere, these women and these geezers come in. The women pull stick grenades out of their fucking cleavage, lob them at you. The bar explodes. You get up completely unfazed and like, right, I'm gonna fucking beat the shit out of that bitch. Fucking walk over to these people and literally start pounding these people in the fucking face. I have never seen such
It's a wicked game. Very cool
It
little
is
game.
so brutal and so funny. The fact that like these women are on their fucking knees, you can grab them by the hair and punch them in the fucking face. It is so funny. All these guys will be on the floor like just crawling to get to like I don't know what, and you can just go up to them and just punch them in the fucking head whilst they're on the floor.
You can free animals to help you as well, can't you? Inside
And
bits.
an elephant, right? There's these there's like Arabian guys there whipping this elephant, and so I kick the shit out of them because you know I can, and all of a sudden Jumbo just wanders off. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, son? And then on the next screen, this tank comes at me. And I'm like, oh shit! Then Jumbo just charges the fucking thing and wrecks it. I was like, how many fucking games am I ever gonna see an elephant charge at a tank and completely wreck it?
Far Cry 4.
Oh, okay, well there you go, Far Cry 4. Well, this is it. This is Far Cry.
No tanks in it, but close enough.
This is Far Cry 4 before Far Cry 4 was a thing.
Can
you
I
know what I'm
ask,
saying?
so how come this elephant was able to take out a tank but not a few Arabian guys whipping him?
Yeah, I didn't get that either. It was insane. Like, and seriously, the fucking.
Maybe he's culturally sensitive. He thought that the fact that they still whip people in that country was fine. You know, they're like, yeah, but we're in this part of the country, we are able to be whipped, so I will tolerate it for now. And then a US tank comes in. He's like, right, well, that ain't going down in the US. So.
I know. Look, seriously, I've said how brutal this game is and how fucking weird it is. Like, I mean, the fact that you can pull up lead pipes and beat people to death with them. I mean, like, it is really quite graphic for
Very
this
cool
kind of
little
game.
It's an old game as well, man. It
Yes.
was one of the launch Mega Drive titles.
It's very fucking old
Yeah, I
school, and
can't
you can
think
see
of the other
that.
name. I think it's called Growl in the US, and in the UK it's got a different name,
I couldn't
or
remember
vice
what it was
versa.
called. But the fact that like when the elephant steps on people, they literally explode into like a gory chunk. It was just amazing. I was like, this seriously. It started out, I was like, oh yeah, fucking just having a few drinks down at the bar, and all of a sudden everything blows up, and I go outside and punch some people. Then all of a sudden, I was fucking gutting people, punching women in the fucking face, and watching Jumbo crush people for the laughs.
Old school scroll and beat 'em up, some of the best things ever.
It was
Did you
amazing.
ever play Cadillacs and Dinosaurs?
No,
You need to get on that next. That's a really good Capcom scroll and beat 'em up.
actually, I might have played it before. I'm not sure.
Very cool game.
But
But but just to get back on the topic, you usually started with 10 games.
yeah, I was going to go through 10 games that I'd never played or had never finished before.
And how many of them have you done?
Well, I've now gone through about 12. Well, no, because I had to be Silver Surfer had to be number 10.
Now, you see, my maths isn't brilliant, but that's more.
Yeah, because Surfer had to be number 10 because Surfer is so hard. But I haven't finished Surfer.
But the 10. So, right.
Surfer isn't here. Since moving, I don't have Surfer.
Oh.
Surfer is in a box in a lockup somewhere in the country, or it could be in a loft somewhere.
It's on a train heading across Europe.
It's probably in a lorry with all my Splatoon stuff, but you know, that's all on the move, man. That's what it turns out it was. It's my fault. I forgot to tell them where to go. They took all the lorry and shit. So, but yeah, so in the because I have no.
That would be a very game thing to do, to actually send the lorry your address. In a day or two's time, the Arctic Lodge is going to turn up outside your house.
And I'll be like,
Game just like the Mr. Bean of
yeah, man. Mr.
Mr.
Bean of
Roberts,
retail.
I've got 10,000 I've got 24 pallets of Splatoon to give to you.
So, sweet.
Round the back, please. Do
Thank you very much.
you have a forklift?
Nick, we need a forklift. Why? I've got some really cool shit here, son. Do you remember that studio space? Ain't got time for that anymore, mate. We're rich.
That would be the best, the most game thing ever.
But yeah, I mean, some of the games haven't even been like part of the Shrinkwrap challenge. They've just been like random games that I fucking.
I guess that, but the fact
Well, no,
you've
look, I
played
didn't-
more
I
games than the
didn't-
original challenge. I guess
didn't
that.
pick any games for the challenge. The rule just had to be that I hadn't played or finished them, or hadn't played enough to say be on like disc 3 of 4, and I could just turn it on and win. That had to be a game that probably I didn't know anything about or whatever. So I'd kind of been digging through the archives, and I found some really fucking weird games, man. Especially that one. Jesus Christ. There's racism and all kinds of stuff and beating women in it, and this was an arcade game back in the day. Amazing. How did they get away with it?
Beating women amazing. We need to start cutting some of these sound bites out.
No. They'll just end up on fucking 4chan anyway. Something will happen. Lizard Squad will hack my computer or some shit, I don't know.
Although saying that, there's a point in The Witcher 3 that I was planning to. I won't reveal exactly what happens for story reasons, but I got to upset a specific woman within the storyline, and it's the most satisfying experience I've had in gaming in my entire gaming career, as it were. When you play it, you'll probably understand, but yeah.
Well, my point
I'll
was-
tell you guys afterwards, because it's quite cool.
My point is that it isn't cool that you're punching these fucking women in the face. I just thought how brutal the
They
fucking
threw stick
game
grenades
was.
at you. You're well within
They
your right
managed,
to hit with
seriously,
the
she's
face.
got like an infinite supply of fucking stick grenades down her cleavage. I was like, the fuck are you doing walking around like that? That can't be comfortable, love. What the fuck are you doing? So no wonder the random ranger guy just punches her in the face, and then when some random guy comes up to him, he punches him in the face too. And then some fucking fat guy comes up to him, punches him too, gets Jumbo to stand on all fucking 3 of them, and they
Sounds like a bloody
explode.
Three Stooges skit to me.
It played like the Three Stooges skit. When you die and come back, you just fucking crush everyone for no reason. It's just insane. Everything explodes. And the end boss, I think, was a robot squid centipede thing, and then you restore balance with nature. And I was like, how the fuck is punching people in the face while they're on the floor restoring our balance with nature?
It's the most natural thing you can do.
Well, because once on the ground, they don't have any problems balancing anymore, do they?
Well, there we go. That was such a brutal game. And it got released. And kids probably played that. Damn.
Yeah.
Never see anything like that these days.
To be fair, some poor kid out there probably played Custer's last event.
It's revenge.
Yeah, Custer's Revenge. Some poor kid probably played that.
Oh,
Daddy,
God.
what's going on in this game?
This is a middle of just Texas Chainsaw Massacre on the
Why's
Atari
you got a
2600,
third
just look
arm,
like
Dad?
a dick chasing people down. Oh, God.
Leisure Suit Larry.
Fucking... When gaming wasn't politically correct. What else? Fucking... There was another game like Smash TV and Total Carnage. Holy
Total Carnage was
Christ.
great, man.
Total Carnage was so bad. Like the news presenters, every single news presenter practically has her tits out, and you're just like, huh? And then you're in the middle of a war zone, just slaughtering everyone, and there's just this woman standing there in a bikini, and I'm like, wait, I'm supposed to. What are you doing here? This ain't a fucking beach vacation. We're in the middle of a fucking war zone, and it's like it's a baby food factory that you're going through. Yeah, it's a fucking arms facility. It's just like.
That was a cool game.
That was so bizarre. And then you end up in the Pleasure Palace with the guys from Smash TV. It's like, arcade gaming is so awesome.
I miss the arcades.
Yeah. You can't punch women in the face anymore. Just saying. What? Why is everyone looking at me so funny? 25p, punch a woman, 20p, punch a woman in the face.
Right. Moving on.
Fat Arab guy, punch him in the face.
Weird news.
Watch an elephant get punched. No, they get whipped. Lions get punched. What the fuck are they doing punching a lion? That lion explodes too. What the fuck?
I'd say if it was a tiger, that would be very Chinese mythology.
That's just weird. And then there's like fucking hawks everywhere and shit. And there's a platforming section, and that game sucks at platforming. Why was there platforming in a side scroll and beat 'em up? Where you could
You want a platforming section that sucks on an arcade game, you need to play Magician Lord. He will tell you what you have of your hair still growing out.
Can you punch women?
The great thing about this is, it does sound like the way you're saying, you sat there just a minute ago, sort of reminiscing about this game. It did sound like something you see like from a mental patient tied up in the corner of a room.
Sounds like Bernard Manning's perfect game to me. Like, oh, you can punch a fat Arab in the face and you can punch women. Oh, what a bloody brilliant game that must be.
I just couldn't. Oh, and there's guns. You can fucking shoot people in this game. I was like, what? That's mad, man. Not only can you punch.
I just find the amusing thing that you think is mad that you can shoot people. There's lots of games you can shoot people.
But fucking back then, there was a side scroll and beat 'em up. Like, I don't mind wrapping someone upside the head with a lead
No,
pipe until they explode.
definitely need to make Cadillacs and dinosaurs because you can shoot people in that too.
See, we've got to fucking play these games. They're insane.
And you can punch velociraptors in the face.
Fucking even bad. There you go. Gaming when it was cool. Hey, and there was you could play. I think you could play as a woman. There was a guy that looked like fucking Hulk Hogan as well. Could you play as a woman in that game?
What,
If you could, you could be a woman that could fucking punch fucking fat Arabs in the face.
And other women.
Yeah, that's fucking cool. She
Right.
couldn't. She probably couldn't pull stick grenades out of her ass though. So, what? Just play the fucking game. It's insane.
Of course she couldn't. She's not a villain. The stick grenade is a very German thing. she pulls proper grenades out of her snatch.
Fucking pull the pin. Fucking. Seriously,
God.
find out what that game is and play it. You have to play it to
I
understand
think it's called Growl in some
Do you know,
areas.
I've got this
something
really
else in
horrible,
others.
when you said about the normal grenades and putting them out, I've got a really horrible vision. You know, have you seen those videos of the woman in the ping pong balls?
No.
Yes.
Yes, do you know what I'm getting at?
Yes.
Yes.
Good job, Nick. You've lowered it lower than I could. But seriously, play this fucking.
It was in Northern Lights, so that
was-
was a BBC Two sitcom, so that's fair game.
It was so bizarre.
You meant in a sitcom. I was in the actual video.
You have to play this game.
I've never seen it done with grenades though, but I'm sure it has been. It must have been. There's a good Pornhub search. Look,
Oh, brilliant.
grenades in snatch.
That could be
Hella far.
that could be really fucking messy. Pull the pin. What the fuck's this pin from? Uh-oh.
Splatoon.
Oh, yeah. Good job. Oh man, went full circle. That's amazing. Wait, shit, was that the basis of fucking Splatoon? This random Growl game where you got to punch women in the face and then
It's
a
a
random
spiritual
porno.
successor.
Well, you did say the end boss was a squid thing.
No, I think it was like a centipede robot.
I can't remember. I haven't
Fucking
played the game
magician
in years.
hat fucking...
Magician hat. What?
I don't know. It was just some random geezer thing that turned into another... That's how bizarre this game was. I didn't understand the thing that was going on, but it was so fucking funny. Everything just explodes or gets punched in the face. Or gets shot. Or stomped on by an elephant.
If we've time after podcast, we have to play it.
That was so cool. Nick, you have to see this game. I'm gonna fucking let's play it for the channel.
Thankfully, something on the channel.
Punching women in the face.
Yeah.
The game.
I'll change the title. I'll change it. I'll Photoshop it. Seriously, play it. It's very politically correct. It's good.
Yeah.
Equal opportunity offender.
Can we move on to weird news now?
Oh yeah. What is there weird news over?
Oh, I did just.
I thought that
actually
was the weird news.
I was just going to throw in. Have you played the expansion to Postal 2 yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
I hear that that's the most politically correct expansion pack ever.
Yes.
Ah,
Not
Postal
that
2.
Postal 2 was particularly politically correct in the first place.
To everyone else, Postal 2 is a guilty pleasure. To me, that's just a fucking pleasure. I love it. It's amazing. Such a great game. Postal 2.
Postal 2 is the game that everyone ever walks me in playing. I go, no, it's not what it looks like.
Really? I'm like, fucking yeah, kill that motherfucker! As I go shovel people in the face.
And then piss on them.
Postal
Yeah.
is
Then when they vomit, you piss in their mouths. Or
Oh
they
yeah,
vomit.
that's it. You piss in their mouth so that they fucking spew, and then you take the shovel and wrap them in the face. Their head flies off and spew just sprays out of them.
What a
Oh
game.
man, it's so good. Postal 2 and Hatred.
The real terrifying thing is, I listen to this podcast when I'm working on the farm. And I have it blaring out my Land Rover at full blast. I'm getting such weird looks from the officer. What are you listening to?
Oh, Harry's been listening to that thing about punching women in the face. I never do that to my wife. I hit her with butt in the rifle.
Oh man.
Sometimes I get confused and punch the livestock instead because they look so bloody similar.
Oh man, this is gold. This is brilliant.
Oh, wow, look, there happened to be a truck driving past. I wonder what's in that.
Get on, man.
And that's how the Splatoon truck driver died.
Punched in the head by a rifle being wielded by a piece of livestock.
That would be insane.
Cow's Revenge.
What a great game that'd be.
At least it's not Bull's Revenge.
So it's probably real life.
Unless it was an elephant. An elephant took the truck out.
It got pissed off. I was getting whipped by some random geese and was just like, fuck that. Bam! Fuck you, amiibos. Yeah. I'm fucking... What was it? What they call it? Amiibo gate? Because ever since the bend gate iPhone thing and antenna gate,
Well,
everyone has to
Why
add
is it
gate.
everything gate? Oh.
Well, it was because the ironic thing was the original gate, which is Watergate, had nothing to do with water. Yeah, everybody always names every other type of gate after the thing it's involving. It's like bend gate.
So what should we call bend gate then? Android gate.
People, idiots who put their phone, put a thin piece of metal in their back pocket and are surprised when it bends.
I know
Gate.
someone that actually had I know someone that had the regular iPhone 6 and broke that
Bill
recently
Gates.
through bending. Bill Gates. Not quite how
Bill Gates gate. That he opens to get into his house every day.
All we should do is go up to Bill Gates' gate and bend it somehow, then put a hashtag on it.
Bill Ben Gate gate.
Someone goes up to Bill and bends him up. Okay, enough.
Weird news.
I thought that was all weird news.
I keep trying. I keep getting knocked back every single time.
Weird
Weird
news
news.
gate.
Dear God, I'm surrounded by fools.
Yeah. Didn't you
Nick
miss
surrounded
this?
by fools gate.
What?
There's
You
lots
throw me now. You see, things you don't want to hear in the same sentence:
Gate.
cat
Cat gate?
cat litter and radioactive waste.
That sounds pretty radioactive, to be fair.
Yeah, no. A radiation leak and underground nuclear waste dump was partially caused by cat litter that was used to soak up the contaminated liquid inside the barrels. So they had this drum, they filled it with radioisotopes, including plutonium, and it was incredibly packaged. The mistake was to put the wrong sort of cat litter in it. There's a correct sort of cat litter to put in your nuclear waste.
Is that on the label? I'm going to have to go to Tesco now and find out.
Suitable use of nuclear waste. I'm sure it's something that most like cat sound.
Does it have like a fucking label on it? Like
Presumably.
you can use this to.
I'm not sure. I'm assuming that people.
Your cat's ass is
Mutated cat butts gate.
I'm assuming that people with cat sand make sure this is suitable for use of nuclear waste. Apparently, the reaction caused the barrel to heat up, and the lid got pushed off.
Imagine if you got hit by that. You turned into the most disgusting superhero ever. Radioactive cat litter man.
Fucking cat.
The cat shit all over you all the time. There's not really much you can do about it. It's like, oh, great.
22 workers were exposed to radiation, but were all fine.
Oh,
Oh no, one of them is going to turn into radioactive cat litter man.
they didn't turn into a steaming pile of cat shit.
Do
At first, when you said that, I thought you were going to say that they've found that fucking cat shite is radioactive.
you know how much this cat litter cost the energy department?
About $1.50.
£36 million. Because that's how much they got fined by New Mexico because of letting it happen.
Oh, this happened in New Mexico. Is this after the ET dig?
No, this is in the nuclear. They have that big nuclear waste dump underground, don't they, in New Mexico? All the nuclear waste gets shipped to.
Yeah, but that's why they were freaking out during the ET dig, because they thought they might pierce into a pocket of radioactive gas.
Fill up with cat litter.
What the fuck?
Maybe that's what he did. They were dumping copies of ET into it instead of cat litter. Absorb the radiation and the waste and shit.
Most useful thing ET you can ever do.
That's why he glows.
So, you're on trial. You're in court.
Stealing a truck full of amiibos.
Or punching women in the face. Or
Close.
whipping an elephant.
Your lawyer comes to you in your prison cell.
Yeah.
What's not a good thing to do?
Molest your lawyer.
Worse than that.
Shout objection
What?
at your lawyer.
Okay.
Knock him out.
Whoa.
Okay. What's the next worst thing you could do?
Hold him as a hostage.
No, when you're being put on trial for assaulting a lawyer, your next lawyer who comes to see you,
You do that, guy.
is knocking him out as well. Yes. Well, Aaron W. Jabert, 34, failed this test. He was on trial for felony assault charged against attacking his original lawyer, Garfield Raymond, and then attacked his second lawyer, Fred Ranch.
What
For
was he
what
on charge
reason?
for originally then?
Well, it doesn't say what he's originally on charge
Punching
for.
women.
Possibly.
Seeking out lawyers to punch them.
Apparently, they're discussing the issue of the original attack with at his defence table when he was suddenly grabbed and began hitting him. The lawyer said, that's all he's got. This is America.
Oh, right. He was pissed off about the last episode. of Better Call Saul.
£250, that's it. I wish you'd given me a couple more seconds. Despite attack, Ranch said he would continue, not press charges, and would continue to defend him. That's
Fucking
dedication.
he's allowed to defend himself first, motherfucker. He'll knock that motherfucker out.
Anyways, his original offence was violating parole. After attempting robbery, allegedly stabbing 2 people.
I was going to say that escalated pretty quick, but apparently not. Punching a lawyer is probably there's like some kind of reward in some countries for doing that.
Probably. We were recently discussing the elections earlier today.
Yeah,
I was discussing who voted and who didn't vote. And some of you admitted they didn't vote. Fortunately for you, you're not in Arizona. Because
punchable by death.
No, an Arizona woman was sentenced for 3.5 years in prison on Thursday for running over her husband with a family car because he failed to vote.
Didn't you say something like this happened before?
That was from McDonald's.
Oh yeah.
That's right, I'm not married, so...
Holly Nicole Solomon, 31, pleaded guilty in April to 2 counts of aggravated assault under a plea agreement with prosecutors of the incident in a parking lot. She was upset apparently in the days following the November 6 re-election of US President Barack Obama, and as a result, when she found her husband hadn't voted, she ran him over. The man suffered a fractured pelvis from being run over. Apparently, he was left pinned beneath the Jeep. She's been sentenced to 4 years of supervised probation by Judge Joe Skazz.
She was stood there teabagging him underneath the Jeep.
It's a tragic case, said Solomon's attorney, Todd Nolan, and both families involved have been very devastated.
He should have punched her on the face.
So yeah, so don't...
Is that a thing? That can't really honestly be a thing.
What?
Like seriously, because he didn't vote for someone that she liked.
This is America. If they run somebody over for not going to McDonald's.
Yeah, but that's fucking. I can understand that now. I'm hungry. You know what I'm saying? Like,
she was hungry for a change of president.
Piss off to her. That's when you said Barack Obama. That just made me think of there's a Kickstarter recently where a bunch of guys want to fight. They've got like loads of rocks and they want to or stones and they want to paint pictures of fucking like cartoon pictures of Barack Obama on them and put googly eyes on them and change them into Baracks.
Why do they need Kickstarter for this?
Fuck,
they
man.
can go to a crowd.
So they can form googly eyes, I guess, en masse.
They fucking said, right, that if there was one like they only wanted $1,000, right, but if someone put in the full 1,000, they would actually paint it onto a fucking massive boulder and have it shipped to you. I was like, what the fuck? That's what I want for my back garden. I need that.
To be fair, some America probably would pay $1,000 to do that.
Yeah, fucking America. If someone does that, seriously, I want to know who did it. And if you do,
find that woman's address and post shitloads of them to her. Fucking lots of Baracks.
Fucking Barack that bitch. Anyway,
so carrying on the theme of elections, you're in an election with another candidate. What would be a really embarrassing thing to happen to you with regards to the other candidate?
If my dick slipped out of my trousers and fell into his ear.
Well, there's a her ear, to be fair.
All right, her ear.
Well,
That's even funnier.
assuming, well, beating you is one thing. That'd be a bit embarrassing. She'd be beaten. What would be worse is the fact that she died a month earlier.
Whoa.
So, my dick slipped out into her ear. It would be bad news then.
what are you doing?
So a councilwoman who died earlier this month easily defeated the only other candidate in the ballot for Pennsylvania county that includes Pittsburgh. Results showed on Wednesday. Barbara Daly Danko, 61, died of cancer on May the 6th, but made on Tuesday's ballot paper because they didn't have time to reprint it. She defeated her opponent, Caroline Mitchell, with 5,575 votes to 4,000, so she beat by nearly 50%.
So if her dick fell into her ear, that would be really weird, bad.
So
that would be an even more dodgy thing then, because the person who didn't get voted in would actually appear to be a man.
The losing person has not been reached for comment.
They're fucking gutted. They probably hung themselves.
I've been outvoted.
You lost to someone and you're a woman with a dick.
I've been outvoted. I lost to a corpse. Brilliant. So there you go.
Probably just been buried under a ton of Baracks.
Possibly.
So that sounds like my relationship history. I lost to a corpse.
Oh man, this is a brilliant podcast. We should have our own TV show.
We could do if you got on to actually sorting the cameras out.
Oh yeah.
And a studio and an audience.
Oh, what do you mean I have to actually finish this?
Yeah.
I was happy with the thing on the table, with the chairs and the heater that makes every time it clicks on turns off the light.
It's good actually, isn't it?
That's like magic. That's what happens when you run an entire room off of an extension cable.
It works fine.
Yeah. Fucking cold out here though, isn't it? Well, I'm assuming so, because of the fucking...
The heat, I mean, we're also huddled around the heater. It's not too bad, actually, yeah.
We're sat out here with fucking coats and shit on.
Yeah.
Best podcast ever.
Yeah.
Is it past midnight yet? Because I've noticed I'm swearing a lot more.
Yes, it's
way past midnight.
It's 1:45 in the morning, so yes, it's well past midnight.
There we go. I'm glad that I'm only slightly losing my mind faster than normal.
Good. Do you play an instrument?
Yes.
Do you play an instrument, Forney?
No.
Let me guess, now you're going to say that because I play an instrument I'm a mass murderer or a thief of amiibos.
I was thinking you could be a busker.
Okay.
But make sure if you go to Oxford, you smile.
I'm always smiling.
Buskers at Oxford have been ordered to smile all times.
I hope you're listening. My friend is a busker, so he might
Right, this is important. If you go to Oxford, you've been ordered to smile if you busk in Oxford or face a £1,000 fine.
Fuck off.
Council are bringing in a public space protection order to tackle antisocial behaviour, and part of it mean penalty street performers are caught scowling at passers-by. The new code of conduct instructs them to smile, enjoy yourself, and entertain others.
So what that means is if you're playing the blues, you're fucked. If you're a really sad grunge kid, you're fucked. If you're fucked, basically. That's a lot of fucking money. You better be playing for a damn long time, and you better be good at what you do.
If you've got a face like a slapped ass, you're fucked as well.
Yeah.
So you can just say, you can get, if you are a busker, you can get your licence for free in Oxford, but you must.
Well, yeah, no fucking wonder, because they're gonna skin you for every. Seriously, you get wet and your fucking amp gets bust. You're like, oh shit, I'm sad now. £1,000 fine. No. How much is the licence everywhere else? Probably about £1,000.
Probably.
For the entire year. And you don't get fined for telling someone to fuck off when you're sad.
I wonder how this got implemented. Was some busker following somebody around, scowling while playing at them? You know, like...
Simply. The existing code of conduct for buskers tell performers they cannot perform for more than 1 hour in the same place and then not return for 2 hours, which is a good rule in my book, particularly if they're doing panpipes. They're also banned from sitting on or wrapping themselves in a sleeping bag or blanket, as this would give the impression they are beggars. And they're also from playing very loud instruments such as bagpipes.
What's wrong with bagpipes? We had a bagpipe fucking player and lower stuff
There's nothing
recently.
wrong with loud bagpipes, I like playing.
Bagpipes and fucking. Oh no, what was the. What happened about harp player? They're going to tell the harp player to fucking move on? You better be smiling all the time or you fucked.
Well, so far, they may not enforce it.
I want an entire orchestra to head off to fucking Oxford, was it? Yeah,
Oxford, yeah.
Everyone go there, play some really badass, like, classical stuff, right? But be really...
What if the music you're playing somber is what I want to
Oh,
know?
no, but I want them all to look sad, even if it's a really happy sounding song. Just look sad, so I want to see them try and fucking find your asses, because then after that, I want you to whip the shit out of them.
I think that all these folks are playing happy talk, but really sadly.
Yeah.
So, on to dumb criminal news, and it's a homebred dumb.
I thought you already covered that.
We've got some more.
Oh, okay.
You've never had dumb criminals.
A dim-witted criminal was caught up by police after he burgled free home because he was still wearing his GPS tag.
What a plank.
Okay, which showed him at the scene.
That sounds like a British thing.
It is, yes.
Oh my
Nicholas
God.
Broadley, 33, was traced by police taking 2 of 3 stolen bikes to his sister's garden shed by his buddy system he was wearing designed to make him go straight.
Well.
He was described by his own barrister as not the sharpest tool in the box because he did not think GPS would be enough proof to put him at the scene.
You fucking...
Okay. He has 98 previous convictions, including 4th burglary.
Also whilst wearing a GPS tag.
His excuse was, he said that the system was not working and he was at his mum's house, and then when police asked, so it must be a fault of the GPS system that happened to only show him at locations where burglaries happened. He volunteered to take part in the scheme and he threw a tracking device. He also didn't know quite what it meant. But yeah, his mum denied everything when he said she was been staying around his mother. She said she'd never seen him.
She said the guy's a fucking idiot and I can't believe he's my son. Fucking kill me now, because clearly if I have any more children, they're going to be fucking morons.
His second excuse was that he was a lookout.
No, not much better, son. Wait, so first your mum's, but you're a lookout. You're saying that your mum's a criminal? We figured it out. Was he still on a truck full of amiibos?
I think Game hide him as a lookout. Keep an eye on that truck. All right.
No wonder
Let's go.
Well, here's a drug point apparently. But yeah, so serial criminals. GPS. You must know how GPS works. Seriously, you must do.
Oh, you poor bastard.
And that is it for weird news. So we've sort of limped to the end of another podcast.
It's been a long time, and this one's been full of a lot of stupid, random.
Bit amusing.
Yeah.
How's it different to normal?
We don't often.
We're in a garage.
Yeah. There's some arcade machines in there,
There is.
and a motorcycle,
And a mono.
2 of them.
And a lawnmower.
Yeah, that's your lawnmower now, dude. It's yours. There's a sand pit over there in the corner. This is how my office looks, by the way. There's like monitors and arcade machines. There's rickshaws. There's motorcycles, and
There's 2 monsters that made children cry.
Yep, and there's a fucking sand pit. Hey, fuck, man.
There's a drill.
No, man, even better. What? Yeah.
Oh no. Oh
How
god,
cool.
no.
4 cans of butane gas.
Oh no. Oh god, we've got to take that away from him.
Oh, what's in this box?
propane.
That's the gas burner, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it must be. Oh, I can't bother to open that. Let's put that back.
Or so that's okay. He's found the gas guys. That's fine. But it's okay. We defeated him.
Let's kill Nick. And then Nick disappears. Stop flickering light. I'm gonna shake my hammer at you. Why is there a flannel in here?
The great thing about this is Luke hasn't. Is point of all us the one who's less likely to have been drinking.
Yeah.
It's like describing a room for blind people, the audio tape.
Seriously, this is what happens after midnight. I just don't give a shit. It's amazing, but you don't give a shit most of the time. I know. Why are you talking to yourself? Well, you know.
Okay.
There's some fucking rocks in it. What's this?
It's part of the Hoover attachment. Luke just found a Hoover attachment.
Do we even own a Dyson? Well, I found some speakers. They look like rocks. Oh, fuck, that's warm. Not the rocks, there's wrapping paper down there by the heater. That's awesome.
There's a box of bananas on it behind us.
This is going to really mess the audio up, isn't it?
Merry Christmas! Wait, it's not a Christmas podcast, is it? Wrong sound effects. Well, we've got wrapping paper for sound effects. This is like post-show. And look, a battery... flower pot. Hang on. So I've got anything in it? Yeah!
No, you didn't realise, of course, that audio listener cannot see us when we steal the rest of the room.
if you're wearing headphones, I'm really sorry. Nick did all that.
Hey!
Screwdrivers and shit. Where's the cool stuff in this place? Oh wait, it's my office. It's full of shit.
There's a drill next to you. What more could you want?
Just fucking the battery for the drill would be nice. Listen, nothing. Fucking no one trusts me with anything. I'm not allowed to have any cool toys.
There's some crutches in here.
No wonder I resort to playing games where I fucking wait. No, I was about to say I punch an elephant. No wonder I play games where elephants tackle tanks. That ain't Far Cry 4. Yeah, the original Far Cry 4, the one on the arcade machine with the. Can you punch people in Far Cry 4?
No.
That's fucking dumb. Can you shoot women in Far Cry 4?
Yes.
You can. What,
Yeah.
women?
I'm sure there must be at least a female character you can shoot.
On the entire island, if
There
not,
must
then
be-
someone's going to start crying
There's going to
about
be
it.
a female character. At some point, you're put in a position where you can shoot them. I'm sure there must be at least
This
one.
reminds me of the, funny enough, going back to Deus Ex,
Invisible War.
The Invisible War controversy. We could kill the 2 kids with a sword.
You could do that in normal Deus Ex. You could. There's a bit in the first Deus Ex where this child comes up to you, asks you for a candy bar, and you can give it the candy bar, or you can just set him on fire.
And you had a problem with me talking about punching people in the
I
face?
did say I did set him on fire.
Oh,
not,
yes, you
not,
did.
Not deliberately.
Yes, you did. I can see that look in your fucking eyes.
Yes. So,
I gave him crisps.
Fucking pure pleasure right
you
there.
got any food, mister? No. Just walk
I've got
over
this
there.
petrol can and a
I've
match.
got a flamethrower.
Hold this match, little boy. There you go. Or little girl. Or fucking twins. Hold those. It's fucking, and then as you strike the match, light the match, and then
Suddenly,
you
all
just
this
fucking pour it
hatred against augmented people feels somewhat justified.
over. What great games! This makes Postal seem quite tame.
I always used to laugh by because in
Oh no, he's laughing about burning children.
well, you know, in Fallout 2,
You're a fossil fuel, don't you?
you know, in
What children? We fucking dig them up.
in Fallout 2, they had to remove kids from the game because of controversy over it. But do you know how they actually didn't actually remove them from the game? They just made them all invisible. So in all the hubs, there were kids still there, just running about, but you couldn't see them.
That's creepy.
That is weird.
It was easier than actually physically you'd leave from the game. But then after they released it, and they it's all, and it's because the publisher says they remove it. So as after they
patched them back in.
Yes, they did.
Good job. Then did you shoot some?
No.
Fuck's sake, Nick. You set fire to a kid in another game.
No, I never. Right, I never said fire to him.
You did.
I didn't set fire to him. I just said he
You
was a
can't
part.
prove it. And I'm going to find a video out there where you've set fire to a child.
I said it's a possibility. If you wanted to, you could set fire to him. If
But you
really wanted.
always want to.
I didn't set fire to him, I just pointed a laser pen at him. It just so happens Herman had his headcannon fixed at the time, you know? So
Couldn't know a guy's his head gun.
He should
his
have done.
skull done. He got it ordered and arranged, but he died before he got it installed.
It's disappointing.
As you find out from
the fact that you
Invincible
killed
War.
Gunter in that game is the biggest bad thing against it, really. Gunter was great.
I shall kill you now. I can't do a good impression.
I've never played that game.
Oh, brilliant game.
I feel bad now. I'm missing out on setting fire to people. Can I set fire to anyone else?
You can set fire to everybody.
Fucking A!
You can do all sorts of cool shit in there.
I was about to say, like, is there
It
anyone
was
else?
quite open-ended for the time.
You've got proximity mods, you just let everyone walk.
Wait, which game are we talking about now?
Deus Ex.
Oh, I have that. I've played that. I didn't know I could set fire to people.
Yes.
I'm clearly playing the game wrong. That's like one of the first things I
You're
try.
listening to what your brother tells you, aren't you? Use the tranquilizer gun, JC. Don't hurt anyone or do anything fun.
Based on the game, so you get a choice. You can either have the tranquilizer gun, a stealth pistol, or a rocket launcher.
Well, I'd go with the rocket launcher. Duh. Fucking trank gun.
To be fair, it's a get gun rather than a rocket launcher, which is not quite the same thing. Still makes a big boom.
Well, I like
The great thing is when you first start, because he's not very, you're such low level, you can only move at like sort of like 3 inches an hour.
It's like W key. Or was this from the days when the arrow keys made?
Yes, it was. I think it was arrow keys by default.
Both, didn't it? Yeah.
I think its default saying was arrow keys though.
That's ridiculous. That's how old that shit is. That's how you can like date a game. Seriously, like fucking.
I remember what the day I converted to WASD.
That must have been trippy for you. I can remember the first time I did that, and it tripped me the fuck out. I was like, for some reason, my brain couldn't like moving from the bottom right hand side of the keyboard to the kind of like top left.
It is quite a
All of a
jarring
sudden,
experience.
The exact same fucking layout with the other hand. Just blew my mind.
But it's not the exact thing because the W is slightly off centre.
Yeah, slightly.
Ah, well, there you go. Now
Unless
I know.
you have a Z board like I do. You never seen a Z board? The Z board was the one where the keys on top you could remove. So what you do is when you have like a gaming keyboard set up, and you have your normal keyboard. So your normal keyboard obviously for normal stuff. Then you unclip it, you pull it off, and you put the gaming keyboard over the top of it.
Oh, I've seen those. Those are rad.
Yeah, I bought one many years ago, and I had it, and eventually it wore out and broke. So I got, and then I saw on eBay for tenner. It's one of the original production ones, so it still came back. But so yeah, I've got it again. So I've got a Z board again.
Oh, rad.
And the keys make proper little clunks noise every time you touch them. They're really cool.
Nice.
I love old school keyboards when they used to make noise.
Yeah.
Not like mechanical keyboards now. They just piss me off.
I want a keyboard that sounds like a typewriter whenever you use it. That'd be great for Let's Plays.
That would be awesome, dude. What we need to do is convert a typewriter into a USB keyboard for games.
That's one of the ways. When I had problems with my sound being out of sync with playing a computer game, I was trying to get resync. I couldn't find a good point to resync it to. That's how I got resync. I found a bit where I pressed the button. I could hear myself pressing the key on the keyboard.
He was fucking face matching the keyboard.
I was listening for the click on the keyboard and watching the animation in time and placing it back together doing that.
That's just insane.
Anyway.
See, the things you do for video editing, really stupid things.
Yeah. Put the drill down, Luke. Put the hammer down.
Attacking the drill with the hammer. Drilling the hammer with the drill that doesn't work. Gate.
We're just going to add gate to everything now.
Podcast gate. Heater gate. Light turn off gate. Christmas wrapping gate.
Anyway, where can you find us?
Probably in the local asylum.
Yeah, locked up somewhere.
With a truck of amiibo.
www.randnerds.com. We've also got a YouTube channel, Rand Nerds. You can find us on Twitter at Rand Nerds. Google plus.com/Google/plus Rand Nerds.
After midnight.
I really cocked that one up. Facebook Rand Nerds, and we've got Steam Community Rand Nerds. And if you have any questions or queries, you can leave us a comment at Rand Nerds.
Please don't get upset about a game where you can punch people. She had stick grenades in her boobs. She's dangerous.
It was justifiable woman punching.
Yep. I'm sure there was a woman in that game. We're going to have to find out now. That'd be so funny. I'm sure something else happens too. For some reason I had this vision that you could rip someone's head off, but I know you can't. Whoa! iPhone almost took a dip. Like, oh my god, dude. An iPhone 6 Plus?
Yes.
iPhone
6
gate.
Plus.
That thing could have just created. Well, that wouldn't have created. If that was a Nokia 3310, there would have been a
That's like
crater
Ben
in my
gate. That's
fucking
like table to floor gate.
No. Beautiful thing.
Right, that's it. Enough of this. He's gushing over his iPhone whilst I'm talking about
I own
punching.
an Apple product because I'm going to gush over it.
You savage.
Goodbye, everybody. I'm the SuffolkRam. See you later.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Don't
Play
you
that
say
game.
goodbye to you guys.
Just punch the fucking. Wait, punch the game. Play the game.
Do your outro, not just say bye. Bye from
Oh. Him.
Bard,
It's a good note from him.
Bard and the Skazz. Just end it now, please.
I'm
End it.
making him pull his hair
End
out.
the
He
podcast.
wants me to kill him.
End the podcast.
Breaking Nick Gate.
End the podcast now. End it. End it.
End it now.
End it.